Blog Talk Radio.
Are you ready?
Sierra, Uniform, November, Delta, Alpha, Yankee, School.
Yeah! Yeah! Show the world! Yeah! Show the world! Yeah! Break it down! Yeah! 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 Yeah!
And we have a new intro for a new wrestling season. Thank you, Kiss, for making me this intro for the all-new Sunday School here on the Cards Over the Change Network, located on blogtalkradio.com/CSTC. We also will be opening a new YouTube channel, which will be Sun School or CSTC, or I believe Sunday School CSTC. I don't even know. That's how disorganized I usually am throughout the course of a week. Now, of course, you can call in at 646-727-2364 to talk about wrestling with us. Towards the end of the show, everybody gets a turn. We're going to be unveiling some new features today, so feel free to call in before that point, and you could be a part of those features. Now, of course, you can download this show on iTunes if you have to duck out for any reason. Be sure to tell all your friends, leave a review, do all that good shit, and, of course, check out JasonRail.com, where we recap wrestling so you don't have to watch it. I got a brand new capture card, so if you're feeling generous and want to throw some money my way, feel free to do that, just so I could go ahead and recap wrestling for all of you people. I promise not to burn it out on AJ Lee's ass this year like I did last year with my capture card. So hopefully it'll last a little bit longer, and I'll be doing that. Now, again, it is a new wrestling season. The good thing about WrestleMania being over is that the season of wrestling sort of renews itself from Monday Night Raw on down. Of course, I'm here with my co-host, and this show would not be complete without an incoherent, drunk, black British guy. And A.H. Walker is here, and hopefully he won't die before the show ends. A.H. Walker, how you doing?
Thank you for the warm introduction. Hello, everyone outside. My name is A.H. Walker, and just 5 minutes ago, I can realize that I can fit 2 fingers inside my own bum.
Why do you know this?
I wiped too hard, and my fingers slipped through the paper.
I'm just at a loss for words. Now, that new YouTube channel is going to be youtube.com/Sunday School Podcast, all one word. Be sure to check that out. It's an alternate way to listen to this show. We will also have Mixcloud.com, which I believe is the same URL, Sunday School Podcast. So be sure to check us out there. We're going to provide some alternate ways to download and listen to this show for you people to make it easier and more enjoyable. So go ahead, support us, and do all that shit. But we're going to get right to the week of wrestling. Now, the big thing that we got going, of course, the WWE Championship has changed hands, much to the dismay of many people. We do have a new WWE Champion, and his name is, of course, John Cena. So, let me ask you, A.H. Walker, we're gonna start with this. Now, a lot of people are acting surprised by this. They're astonished that The Rock dropped the championship title. Do you think these people are utterly fucking retarded? Because I felt like the minute this match was booked, you knew there was no way John Cena wasn't walking out of WrestleMania 29 without the WWE title around his waist.
Yeah, I understand. Like, everyone knew that John Cena was going to win. And quite frankly, the way everyone was been bitching about Rock, you'd think everyone would be fucking happy about it. Like,
yeah, I mean,
that shit.
It amazes me how many wrestling fans are sitting there and they're going, The Rock doesn't show up. He doesn't do anything. I hate The Rock. I wish he didn't have the title. It's a disgrace to wrestling. And then these same people turn around and they go, oh, man, John Cena's got the belt. Fuck that, man. Fucking whining and complaining. Now, I went to WrestleMania this year. For those of you who didn't know, I had a great time. You can listen to Ask, which is also on this network. Ask episode 149. Myself and Johnny Landon were talking about our experience at WrestleMania, and one of the things that is amusing to me is actually John Cena holding the belt, and the reason why is because everybody else fucking hates it. And it is fun to watch these people get pissed off. I mean, literally, we sat there and we quoted the John Cena Rules Twitter, which you can find at John Cena, RULS. And we're like, John Cena the best! Yes! Yes, yes! And like, there are people around us looking sad and pissed off and disappointed, and this is the reason that John Cena gets to wear a championship belt, because of the fact that it elicits a reaction, albeit a negative reaction. But you know what? None of these people are tuning out for John Cena. There's a reality check for all of you that hate John Cena. You turn around and you watch Raw every week just so that you can tell us how much you despise him, and this is why he has a championship belt in 2013. Now we're going to go ahead and we're doing something different now with the callers. Now at the end of the show, all of the callers are allowed online. However, during the show, callers will be allowed online to talk about their opinions on the subjects we're talking about, very similar to what we do on Ask. You're going to talk about one subject, and then we kick you the fuck off. Now, the first person joining us is Adam Pearson. Adam, how you doing?
Very well, sir. Hope you're both well. We know A.H. Walker's a bit drunk and has penetrated himself this evening.
A bit. Oh, mate. I've gone past a bit like half an hour ago. I'm gone.
A.H. Walker anal fisting live on Sunday School. Now, Adam Pearson, let me ask you, what do you think about John Cena holding the belt again? Do you think this is a good or a bad move for business, judging by the reaction that the people are giving him?
It all depends who they book him against leading up to Extreme Rules. And if this is all because it looks at the moment like they're pushing Ryback again. Yeah. And I don't know whether it's going to be kind of like a face versus tweener, face versus face, or face versus heel. We know John Cena's not going to turn heel. Yeah. We all thought he would at WrestleMania, but then they showed that Make-A-Wish campaign.
And it got booed.
And you instantly knew that they're not going to turn him heel on the same night he's talking about, I make dying children happy.
That should be a hashtag in and of itself on Twitter. I make dying children happy.
Hashtag Jerry Sandusky.
Now, this is the thing about it, Adam. John Cena is not going to go heel, but he's so face that, in effect, he is heel. This crowd despises him, and we're going to talk about the New Jersey crowd and the way they reacted to Raw throughout this show. But, I mean, they just shit all over him. And one of the things that I like about this is that John Cena actually took liberties with it. He has, rather than sit there and do the whole rise above hate bullshit, he's just mocking and just basically condescending the entire fucking crowd the entire time he's out there. He's wearing a shirt with the champ is here with an arrow pointing down. He knows they're booing him. He's making his stupid, goofy faces. He's saying a bunch of shit just to... John Cena is trolling the WWE audience, and so he's not heel, but at the same time he's doing things to elicit a negative reaction, and I love it. What do you think about that?
He's quite funny with it. He's like saying to the WWE universe, you think you can troll me? Watch me troll myself better than you.
Exactly, and that's one of the things that I'm loving about this. I mean, what do you think, A.H. Walker? Do you think that John Cena takes it in stride when he sits there and he basically trolls himself just to make the crowd a little bit more pissed off at his general existence?
I like it. I thought it was funny. I died up laughing. He's just like, hey everyone, this is as close as you're getting to me turning heel, so just shut up and enjoy me because I'm not going anywhere. Fuck you. That's what he pretty much was.
Yeah, which is almost heel in and of itself. He's trolling the fucking crowd, and they want him murdered. They literally want to nail him to a fucking cross and watch him bleed to death. It's amazing. I'm fine with it because, I've said it before. Whether you like Cena or hate John Cena, he elicits a reaction, and that's more than a lot of people have done in this business. Charlie Haas. But that's sort of. That's what he's supposed to do, basically. Now, Adam, you brought it up, so we'll touch on that for a second. It looks like the first man that's going to step in there. Now, they've said that Rock is entitled to a rematch, but we've also heard that Rock went home because he's hurt. And this caused more people to whine and bitch and complain and piss and moan that Rock left. These are the same people that are mad that he's not there to begin with, so what the fuck are you complaining about? These are the same people that wanted Rock to leave after WrestleMania anyway. I don't understand why they're so mad. But either way, Dwayne is allowed a rematch, and we don't think he's going to get one at Extreme Rules, but we don't know for sure. In the meantime, they have set up an attack at the end of the show by Ryback. Now, I thought we were going to see this some months ago when they had Ryback and Cena and CM Punk all in the title picture. We sort of teased the stare down, and Ryback did nothing. Now we have Ryback, and he's like, fuck you, Cena. And Cena's having those Nexus flashbacks from being hit with that fucking meat hook clothesline. Now, this is the thing. It seems that they are sliding Ryback more towards the heel scale. I'm reading that at house shows he's going to be tagging with Mark Henry, things of that nature. A.H. Walker, does Ryback as a heel work, or is that going to destroy all his momentum that they've built up for?
Yeah, what's the point in turning him heel? Like, I don't understand that. Like, Feed Me More could be a T-shirt thing. Like, he could be I wouldn't say be like a John Cena, but he could be a marketing ploy for him, and then he's going to flip him heel.
You know, the thing is, I don't understand why WWE has to go with the whole you're either face or heel mentality. And in my opinion, Ryback has never been a face anyway, but he's never quite been a heel. I mean, the crowd reacts to him, but we've seen him fight faces before. I've seen him squash your Derek Batemans and your Zack Ryders, and those guys are faces. So I think Ryback is just sort of out there, and he indiscriminately hurts who he's going to fucking hurt. I mean, that's again, to steal a line from Mark Henry, that's what he does. So I don't think you necessarily have to slide him into being a heel, not to mention the fact that just because the New Jersey crowd was a little bit crazy doesn't mean that their Bizarro world, I think that's generally how a lot of people are going to react to Ryback, is that in their mind, Ryback is the face for destroying John Cena and for bringing us something a little new to the picture. Adam, what do you think? Do you think that Ryback as a heel works? Or do you think that that's an avenue that WWE should not take, given the popularity they've built him up for?
It all depends if they're going to turn him heel. And it looks like they are, because he's booked in, like, later down the line in several tag matches, where it's him and Dolph Ziggler versus Cena and Del Rio, which is classic face team versus heel team matchup. His mic skills just aren't that good. He just shouts a lot. He's like a bald but successful Ken Shamrock.
Yep. What'd it do?
Yeah, exactly.
You remember that? Does anyone remember that? That was awful.
Mm-hmm. He had the fucking 10-gallon hat and William Regal.
Yeah, and the fake Stone Cold Steve Austin wannabe vest.
What if William Regal and Ryback had a baby?
Ugh, that's kind of frightening.
He'd be British and hench.
Also biologically impossible.
He'd come out Welsh, and it would be Mason Ryan. That's what you get. I mean, that's just fucking awful, but I don't know. I'm fine with Ryback being in the title picture. I don't know if I would push him as a full-fledged heel. I think that it's a little bit too soon to do that. I think the crowd loves him. I think you need to push him as sort of the face that isn't John Cena for the crowd, because the same sort of Cena-loving audience gets behind Ryback, but so too do a lot of the smarter wrestling fans. You'd think that they wouldn't, but a lot of them just prefer him to John Cena if they're going to have to deal with a babyface that WWE's going to push down our throats. Not to mention, it's tons of laughter and tons of pounds when you see obese people wearing the Feed Me More t-shirt. That never ceases to be amazing and hilarious and sad, all at the same time.
Yep.
I mean, that's a marketing ploy for you. You're gonna sell a shirt that says "Feed Me More" to a fan base where about half the audience is morbidly obese. I find that highly amusing.
WWE's teamed up with the Biggest Loser. Oh yeah. No, instead of turning Ryback, as you say, full-fledged heel, they should make him just someone who indiscriminately punches people in the face. What was it that like Kobe Bryant, unstoppable.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, Kobe Bryant. Let's not even talk about that. I saw people talking about him all weekend for basketball shit that I couldn't care less about.
You're not going to fire me for saying it, are you?
No, not at all. But we are going to kick you off now because we're going to let another caller on the line to talk about our next topic. But you'll be back later on in the show. So it's all good. Now we're going to talk about the other title that changed hands, and it didn't change hands in the way that you thought it would. Of course, we did have Alberto Del Rio retain his World Heavyweight Championship on WrestleMania night against the real American Jack Swagger, only to be cashed in on by Dolph Ziggler, who successfully cashes in his Money in the Bank briefcase to a standing ovation in New Jersey, becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion. Now, finally the internet can shut the fuck up about this Dolph Ziggler not getting his due thing. He has the World Heavyweight Championship. He's already held it longer than the time Christian fucking won it and lost it on SmackDown. Do you guys remember that? that initial Christian title reign, that was a disaster. It's already longer than Dolph Ziggler's initial world title reign, which lasted, 12 minutes?
6.
Was it 6? Well, I'm giving him too much credit then. But either way, Dolph Ziggler is your new World Heavyweight Champion. Now, I've got Glenn joining us on the line. Glenn, what were your thoughts of seeing Dolph Ziggler win the World Heavyweight Championship on Monday Night Raw?
I have a lot of thoughts. One of them is that he's finally not carrying around that busted-ass blue briefcase. 2, I was very happy to see it happen because I've been coming around to Del Rio, but I still do not like Del Rio. And that whole Del Rio Swagger feud was based on two managers that were way better characters than the people they were managing. I think that with Del Rio as champion, it'll kind of open things up because he's marketed as a heel, but what did I say?
You said Del Rio.
My fault. With Ziggler as champion, he's marketed as a heel, but he's over as hell, and I think that they could legitimately use that to have him face anybody.
Yeah, now this is sort of what they went with. Now I'm hearing that the reason they had Dolph Ziggler pretty much lose to everybody on Earth on the way to its cash-in was to show that Dolph Ziggler is a beatable World Heavyweight Champion. H. Walker, does that sound logic, or do you think that still in effect Dolph Ziggler looks like a weak World Heavyweight Champion due to the fact that he has lost to Sheamus, Alberto Del Rio, Chris Jericho, John Cena, CM Punk, the bum on 34th Street, AJ Lee's mother, a purple dildo. I mean, what has Dolph Ziggler not done?
A.H. Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could beat him in a fight. And a baked potato eating contest.
I mean, this is the thing that I have a problem with. Now, I have no problem with Ziggler having the belt, but WWE now has a new challenge they've laid before us, and that's the challenge of keeping Dolph Ziggler heel. The crowd universally just basically cheered for Dolph Ziggler's cash-in. Not to mention, at WrestleMania 29 itself, they pretty much shit all over Jack Swagger and Alberto Del Rio. They chanted, "We want Ziggler," all during the entire match. We knew that it wasn't going to happen because we were sitting closer to the stage, and they were setting up for all these performances and Diddy and all this bullshit, and you couldn't even get out of the entranceway while they were doing this. So there was no way Ziggler was going to come out unless he was going to come out of the fucking crowd, which you knew wasn't going to happen. What do you think, Walker? Do you think it's going to be a new challenge for WWE to keep him heel? I mean, people would rather boo Del Rio than boo Dolph Ziggler. And Swagger out-heels Dolph Ziggler in every single regard right now. So if these are your two guys that are going to be feuding with Ziggler, don't you have a problem where you cannot keep Ziggler as a heel?
I think they can try. Like, I don't think it would last well. Like, as soon as Big E and AJ will get out of there, then it'll be face. But like for a while, I think they can do something for a while, like for the short term.
I feel like they had to throw Chris Jericho at him on SmackDown in order to keep anyone giving a shit about Ziggler as a heel. It's like the only way that you can get people to boo Dolph Ziggler is send somebody who's more important and beloved by everyone out there. I mean, Glenn, what do you think? Do you think it's time to just go ahead, pull the trigger, say Dolph Ziggler's a face, and get it the fuck over with?
They would have to like somehow hide all of the heel merchandise, all of the he'd have to change his Twitter handle. I thought when Michael Cole when he cashed in, when Michael Cole said he is now known as Dolph Ziggler, World Heavyweight Champion, I looked up the Twitter handle like Dolph Ziggler WHC, hoping that maybe he had just changed it before cashing in. And
you should have taken it.
I really should have, but that would have got me in trouble again.
Yeah, except right now I'm relatively sure that some fucking 13-year-old pimply-faced, virginal, greasy piece of shit has that name and is using it as a roleplay account on Twitter. So I mean that's what happens when inaction leads to breeding retardation. Now the problem that I have again is that Dolph Ziggler. That's always been my problem with him, is I don't like the whole I'm heel Ziggler, because nobody hates you. Everyone sucks your dick all the time, 24/7. I mean, the man hasn't had a dry dick since he fucking got that fucking briefcase. I mean, literally, I think most of the male wrestling fans we follow on Twitter would gladly suck him off just to make sure that Dolph Ziggler is appeased. You're not a heel. The bottom line, people love you too much for you to be a heel, and nothing you do generates any sort of heat. In fact, everything that involves getting you heat usually involves putting Biggie Langston next to you, AJ Lee next to you. He tried to cut a heel promo on SmackDown, and yay, Dolph, yay! It's like, I'm shitting on you people, but you people aren't even taking it seriously. Yay, Dolph! They had to send Chris Jericho out there to save Dolph Ziggler being a heel. It wasn't going to happen because people are fucking retarded. I mean, A.H. Walker, do you think that Dolph Ziggler is to blame, or do you think that the fans are just too fucking stupid to realize what the hell is going on?
All fans are stupid.
Ziggler shit all over everyone. He said, I don't know you people nothing. I did this by myself. And he could barely talk because his voice was just about gone on SmackDown. He had no voice left.
From sucking his own dick.
Yeah, he sounded like John Laurinaitis out there. Dolph Ziggler. I mean, it was horrible, but it wasn't a bad promo. He was trying. Damn it, he was trying to retain his heelness, but the audience won't allow him to do so. And I think that's going to be a problem for Dolph Ziggler going forward. I think eventually the crowd is just going to turn him face whether he wants it, whether WWE wants it or not. And that's just sort of where it's going to go. Now, do you think we're going to see a triple threat rematch with Swagger and Del Rio, or is it going to be just simply him versus ADR?
There's no chance. There's no chance there's a triple threat. I'm pretty sure that Swagger's getting suspended soon
because of the marijuana charge. I mean, I heard
the marijuana charge.
If they were going to suspend him, they would have done it. They wouldn't have had him come out and have fucking Coulter talk about him like this week. I don't think he's getting suspended anymore. Like, they would have done it by now.
So we basically are going to see. But Walker, do you think it's going to be a triple threat, or do you think it's just Del Rio that's going to be taking on Ziggler for the title?
It'll be a triple threat first, but then like Swagger will be like end up feuding with fucking Sin Cara.
Now let me ask you.
We have Fatal 4 with Sin Cara.
That's Sin Cara. Now let me ask you guys. Do you think that Del Rio risks now in basically facing Dolph Ziggler, his face turn sort of being undersold and shit all over? Do you think that this is going to basically display weaknesses in Alberto Del Rio's character? Walker, what do you think?
Excuse me?
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think that Dolph Ziggler versus Del Rio is going to exploit weaknesses in the Alberto Del Rio face turn, where the fans just won't get behind or won't react to Alberto Del Rio?
Yeah, he's pretty much fucked, man. You'll have to find a picture of like Dolph Ziggler like sucking Vicky Guerrero off or some shit like that, and to make him heel again. That's the only way he can get heel again.
Yeah, I mean, Glenn, do you think that this is going to lead to people just not giving a fuck about Del Rio at this point? I mean, you've invested all this time and energy into making this guy a babyface, and now you sort of had Ziggler, who the internet basically jizzes all over, cashing in on him. Do you think that they've led to a situation where now nobody's going to care about a babyface Alberto Del Rio, much like they don't care about Sheamus?
The thing is, a lot of people don't give a shit about Del Rio already. I mean, honestly, I can honestly say that if he did not have Ricardo with him, he probably would have never gotten this title reign. Like, Ricardo is the only way that he gets over ever. Because nobody cares. When people think of Mexicans in the world title picture, they're like, he's not Eddie Guerrero. We don't give a shit.
Yeah, and I think one of the problems is, we said it several weeks ago on this show, that WWE has considered taking Ricardo out of the equation completely for Del Rio because they feel that a babyface Del Rio no longer benefits from Rodriguez. Now, I beg to differ. In fact, I said it a few weeks ago, and I'll say it again, is that the problem with Del Rio as a babyface is that all of the things that made Del Rio a good heel and a likable heel to a lot of the people, you're taking away from him as a face. And if you take away the car, you take away Ricardo, you give him this crappy remix that we're playing in the fucking background right now that sounds like some fucking Super Nintendo music, and you wonder why people aren't getting behind him. It's because everything that was cool about the character you've stripped from him. You've made him generic Mexican guy with my father's haircut. I mean, what is that? I mean, Walker,
are you your father's Ricardo?
No.
You have to introduce Carl to work.
No, I don't.
Oh.
That's horrible. I wish that Del Rio would just go even more heel, actually, and bring out the Mexican mafia that he was sitting with all WrestleMania weekend at the hotel. Because you guys don't understand, Del Rio walks around in his full suit at like 4 a.m. in the fucking hotel. It's fucking hilarious. I mean, he sits there at a fucking dim table with Mil Mascaras at the fucking head of it, wearing his fucking mask in a suit, with like 20 fucking Mexicans all in suits. They're talking business. It's fucking scary. It looks like something out of fucking Godfather. I actually wouldn't mind if we started having Alberto Del Rio put out hits on people. That seems to be more entertaining than what he's doing now. So
he could hire the APA. I would hire the APA.
Yeah, everybody would hire the APA. Always pounding ass. Now, we're going to go ahead and take a brief commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to discuss a little more of the WWE. We're going to let another caller on, so Glenn, thank you for being on the show, and we will be right back after this commercial break.
Hello, Derek. This is Naresh.
Hey Derek, why you blocked my brother Naresh? Tell me your answer.
Hello, Derek. This is Naresh. I wanted to ask one question. Why you are blocked me on Twitter? May I know why? Please unblock me. And why you are not shout out to me? That day you tell. If I send it out to you, you will shout out to me on Twitter. But you not. Why? Please shout out me. I have much respect for you. Please shout out me and replay this audio.
I love that commercial because I like listening to poor Indian kids cry because they're not being followed by people on Twitter. So we're back on the show, and we're going to go ahead and talk about yet another situation going on. Now, another person who won at WrestleMania who people were actually retarded and didn't think was going to win. There were a few people who thought that The Undertaker's streak would come to an end. We call these people mentally deficient. We're now letting Dom on the line. Dom, were you among the mentally deficient who believed that The Undertaker would actually lose to CM Punk?
It's like watching a really obvious movie. You know how it ends 5 minutes in, but the trick is to find out how you get there. We knew The Undertaker was going to beat CM Punk. We knew he was going to be 21-0. The fun was how we got to that conclusion. And with Paul Bearer's death and everything, look, people trashed it for saying it was, in bad taste or whatever. But we know, but if Paul Bearer was alive, he probably would have okayed it. So, yeah, it's just the fun was finding out how he got there, and how he got there, I think, was a pretty good feud. But yeah, anyone with 2 brain cells couldn't figure out the Taker was going to be 21-0.
Yeah. Now, CM Punk was not booked on Raw this week. The show was incredibly stacked. There wasn't a whole lot of time. They're holding off on getting CM Punk's opinion on what happened at WrestleMania until next week, which I think is fine because it gives people a reason to tune in. Now, A.H. Walker, what do you think about The Undertaker and basically retaining the streak? Do you think that people are complaining too much? Some of the CM Punk fans are just a little bit too stupid to realize how this whole streak thing works? Because I actually saw an obese, fucking, fat, Carl Winslow-looking CM Punk fan in front of me who, when Punk lost, he left the building and never came back. I hope he killed himself because he was awful. So, I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, do you think that people don't understand that the streak is sort of what it is, and chances are nobody's going to break that streak?
Yeah, I reckon they're mentally deficient people who are smarky enough to hate John Cena, but marky enough to think everything's real. Those people. I kind of hope they get a brick shoved up their bum.
Yeah. Now, Undertaker came out, and I guess he was going to discuss his victory, and he was very rudely interrupted.
Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
So the Shield comes out and tries to go for their usual attacks on just about everyone. Team Hell No, who are still the tag team champions, appear, and even the odds, and the Shield retreats. Now, it looks like we've got a 3-on-3 here, but do you think Undertaker is sticking around for another match after WrestleMania, or is he back on that Santa Claus schedule? Are we going to see the Undertaker with Team Hell No lock it up with the Shield?
He's on Santa Claus again. You saw what happened on SmackDown. They've obviously changed it one day after they thought, nah, man, we'll swap. He's not gonna be back till next year. You need to save your Undertaker cards, in my opinion, because of the fact that he doesn't have many cards to play left. I mean, Dom, do you think Undertaker should wrestle actively engage the Shield at the next pay-per-view, or do you think that Undertaker does need to sit this out and wait till WrestleMania 30? I mean, what do you think about that?
All signs point towards Taker having his retirement at WrestleMania 30, so he does need to hold on to whatever cards he has. As a matter of fact, it's been rumored that it's going to be the Shield versus Hell No at Extreme Rules, and that the Shield are going to win and use the Freebird rule to carry the belts. Yeah, I was about to ask that, if you thought that if it does in fact lead to the Shield versus Hell No, and it's a tag team championship match, if the Shield will be allowed to operate under Freebird rules. H. Walker, do you think that's wise, or do you think it would be better to have two Shield members hold the belts, strictly holding the tag team titles, and the third member go on to singles competition? I kind of think it'd be best for them not to actually have belts at all, because that wasn't really their mission statement, was it? Well, yes and no. I mean, they might see that just Team Hell No having those belts is an injustice. If you remember, they've already teased that it's an injustice because a tag team should not be as dysfunctional as Kane and Daniel Bryan are, and that those belts need to be taken from them. Now, also they've alluded to the fact that the NXT title should belong to Seth Rollins several times on NXT. So I don't think I have a problem with the Shield having belts. I think it's about time. I think you need to run with these guys. But another thing is that the Shield, much like Dolph Ziggler, they're heels, but they're not. I mean, the crowd universally loves the Shield. There is not... I'm hard-pressed to find people who actually hate the Shield. Everyone seems to love them. They love the fact that these upstarts are getting pushed on the re-television. They love the fact that these guys do what they do and just destroy people. They love the fact, the heels in this whole thing were Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Big Show, who nobody cared about. At WrestleMania, the next night in New Jersey, nobody cared about. That's when New Jersey went crazy with all their chants. They're chanting for Michael Cole and JBL and Chris Benoit during the commercial break, and God knows what else. And that's because of the fact that nobody cares. Orton and Sheamus are fucking stale. I mean, when you have a thank you Big Show chant starting because he fucking turned his back on them, you've obviously gone somewhere wrong. So let me ask you, A.H. Walker, do you think the Shield, again, people are in danger of being turned face solely because the audience reacts positively to them? Because nobody boos the fucking Shield. Yeah, they're not going to turn them face because, well, although the most face thing they did was probably just beat up, fucking three-man band, but they'll never get turned face at all. I could say this. I'd make a bet with Glenn about it, but, I don't want to lose my spot again. But I don't know. I like the Shield as they are. I don't think that you need to even have them react or adjust what they're doing to accommodate the crowd at all. And that's one of the things I wish WWE would get away from. You don't have to accommodate the audience. Just do what you're going to do, because the Shield doing what they've been doing is fucking working. I mean, these guys are great. I mean, you fucking despised Seth Rollins until he came out with a fucking SWAT vest on and black pants. Now all of a sudden you're fine with him. Yeah, his dick's in my bum. That's disgusting. That's absolutely frightening. He's gonna empty his nuts in your ass. It hurts. It's large. Like your Kelly Rosa, LOL. Now, let me just say, also, I do have to say, now, talking about the Shield, I feel that they've improved, actually, since being on TV, which I'm not saying that they were ever really bad, but I think Reigns, who was sort of very vanilla, has found where he's supposed to be in the whole scheme of things. Rollins has improved on a microphone to the point where I can listen to him talk without rolling my eyes. I mean, am I wrong in that? What do you think about the Shield? Do you think that it's been helpful for the individuals' careers involved thus far? Yes, man. We were speaking about, Roman Reigns back on NXT, how he was just, basic, and now he's awesome. I hated Seth Rollins and wanted him dead, and now, and now I want to cuddle him. Come on now.
He's fantastic, and we always love Dean Ambrose because Dean Ambrose is a glorious man. So.
Like I said, he always reminds me like he's going to shoot up a fucking school, but that's part of what I like about Dean Ambrose and the psychology that he brings with him. Did you think at any point that you would be saying that Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, whatever you choose to call him, would have a pinfall? Who the fuck is having sex with their microphone? I'll kill you.
Dom's uncle.
Anyway, do you think that we would ever say that in 2013, Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, whatever you choose to call him, would have a pinfall victory over Randy Orton?
No.
I mean, that is just something that is above and beyond surreal. Now, unfortunately, we have to talk about Randy Orton. Dom, thank you for being part of this part of the discussion. We're going to mute you and let another caller on the line, and we'll let you back towards the end of the show. We are going to let Gideon on the line to talk about the opposing end of the Shield, the men who were against them, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and The Big Show. We've been led to what has to be the stupidest thing I've ever heard. We have two grown men, Randy Orton and Sheamus, fighting over who gets to beat up The Big Show because they are mad that he left them at WrestleMania. This is like two men fighting over a woman, only completely fucking gay. Gideon, what do you think about this? Do you think that the crowd's reaction to basically shitting all over Sheamus versus Randy Orton with chants for everything but the match is an indication that these men are stale?
Hell yeah. It should be the losers and stuck with this feud with Big Show.
Yeah. No, you know what I was going to say? Now, a lot of people, and let me ask you, Gideon, now, you've probably heard the rumors that Randy Orton wants to turn heel. Do you think it should be Randy Orton or Sheamus that turns? Let me ask you, for starters.
Actually, have them both turn.
Well, see, I was going to allude to that, and I was going to say that Randy Orton and Sheamus, right now as it stands, are actually both heels. And this is my logic behind it. Why am I hearing echo? Who is, like, sitting right next to their computer speakers? Please don't do that. You're lowering the tone of my show, and it makes me want to stab you in the throat. Now, back to Randy Orton and Sheamus. They're both heels right now, and I'll tell you why. Because there's nothing more heel than a man wanting the audience to endure a Big Show match. That is just the most heel thing that you can do. So we've got two guys who want to fight the Big Show and put the audience, subject the audience to this crap. I mean, in effect, these two are the fucking heels. They're forcing us to sit through this garbage. I mean, what do you think, A.H. Walker? I mean, are you tired of Randy Orton and Sheamus? And now the inclusion of Mark Henry in the mix, who just beat up Sheamus. Like, that's what I do! I mean, what the fuck is going on here? It feels like you've got these two guys that are big company names, and you don't know what the fuck to do with them. You've made them worthless, and this is the route that we're taking Del Rio right now as well.
I would really just like to see Mark Henry just punk out someone every week, not wrestle anyone, just come in and just yell in their face. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Like, I don't understand it. Like, as far as being bored, like I've been bored of about. I still like Sheamus to a very, very mini extent. Randy Orton can go fuck himself, but like Sheamus is pretty cool, and I like Big Show. They're stuck in limbo with like 5,000 people, and they're just gonna make a fatal four-way just because we need to have people on the pay-per-view kind of match, you know. I think that's what they're gonna do with them.
No, I think the only reason that they have Mark Henry joining is very simple. They want people to sing his entrance theme when he comes out, which is what they did on both WrestleMania night and the next night on Raw. You literally heard about 10,000 white people singing 3-6 Mafia. Whoa, hey, somebody gonna get the ass kicked. I mean, it was like, what the hell is going on? What world am I living in where this is going on? Which is amazing that the crowd would take to Mark Henry of all people, because Mark Henry, even though everyone likes him yelling and being black as fuck, he's not particularly that good in the ring either. I mean, that Ryback Mark Henry match was kind of, when is this gonna go away? And I don't know, because obviously we had Mark Henry and Ryback acting like their differences weren't resolved yet, but now we have Mark Henry beating up Sheamus and catering because that's what I do. And I mean, what are we doing? I mean, what would you do with these guys, A.H. Walker? Because we need to find a place for Sheamus. We need to find a place for Randy Orton. We now need to find a place for Mark Henry. I mean, it feels like it's just overcrowded. It feels like waiting in line at the fucking post office.
Okay, I thought about this. What we can do, Randy Orton can shit in the Funkadentals gym bag. Sheamus is going to have live sex with one of the Bella twins. Mark Henry and Big Show are going to have an arm wrestling contest.
You know, I'm scared because when you say Mark Henry and Big Show have an arm wrestling contest, this is not too far-fetched from some of the stupid shit WWE likes to book. We just saw a weightlifting contest between him and Ryback a couple weeks ago. Don't give them ideas. I mean, what do you think, Gideon? How do you feel about Mark Henry now included in this mess? Is there a point to any of this?
I think the loser should go to TNA.
Oh my God, I don't understand. And the thing is, of course, you've got the fangirls. They think Randy Orton deserves everything. Now, I like Randy Orton. I don't dislike him. I think that he's effective when used properly. He's not being used properly, but I also get the impression that he doesn't even want to be there. It feels like he's just woken up and walked to the ring, and he's like, fuck, let's get this over with. I'm here for the next 20 or so years because I signed a long-term contract. I mean, A.H. Walker, does it look like Randy Orton even gives a shit anymore? Because I feel like he's on autopilot. I think that's the best way to say it. Am I right in saying that, or what's going on with Randy Orton?
He hasn't been given a shit when he was told that he will never get the world title again when he came back from suspension.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good thing to say either. I mean, I'm not saying that Randy Orton deserves the world title, but I'm saying that you probably shouldn't tell your talent that because they're not going to put in effort because it's like, why the fuck am I here? Which, I mean, is basically their admission that Randy Orton is just there until the next time he fucks up again, in their mind. And I've never liked that. I understand that you got to play it safe with these two-strike superstars, but when you've had guys like William Regal who have never held the big ones solely because he's had two strikes, I think that that's a disservice to the fans, in all fairness. I mean, what do you think about that, Gideon? Do you think that Randy Orton should not be allowed to carry a championship again based on his violations of the wellness policy?
They gave Jeff Hardy the title. I mean, really.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much, that sums it up. I mean, what do you think, H. Walker? Should they use your wellness strikes as a reason to not use you to your fullest?
Fuck that, man. Like, if you have someone that has potential, like, who can do something for you, you might as well just go for it. Fuck a fucking policy.
I can understand when your two-strike guys are your Chavo Guerreros or your Chris Masterses, but when you've got a Randy Orton or William Regal, I think that it's a disservice to just not let them hold a championship belt based on their wellness strikes. It doesn't give them any incentive to keep their act clean because it doesn't matter. Their career is already fucked anyway. They're basically held hostage. You know what was held hostage for a while, for about a good 24 hours? The Intercontinental Championship. We're going to talk about that right now. Gideon, thank you for calling in, and we'll let you back in towards the end of the show. Now, anyone else who wants to call in, you can call in at 646-727-2364 or live via Skype. But myself and A.H. Walker have to talk about the fact that the Intercontinental Championship was held hostage for a mere 24 hours and freed the next night on Raw.
Yeah.
So, I said when the match was booked for WrestleMania and the pre-show that basically The Miz was going to win solely because of the fact that it is a free show. They need to sell pay-per-views and they need to convince the audience that is not already buying WrestleMania that anything can happen at this show. So, Miz takes the Intercontinental belt. Next night on Raw, we get the rematch, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, let's watch it. Let's get it over with. Let's get the Miz's rape of Wade Barrett over with and this horrible Intercontinental Miz title reign underway. One bullhammer later, Wade Barrett has regained the Intercontinental Championship. It is a wonderful day for England and the world. A.H. Walker, now my question to you is this. What do we do with the Miz if he's not the Intercontinental Champion? And what do we do with Wade Barrett, who has, until WrestleMania, been sort of dead in the water as the champion?
Right, okay. I'm about to say the gayest thing that I'm probably ever going to say in my entire life.
You just said you were going to get fist. You said you were fisting yourself at the top of this show. I don't think it gets much gayer.
Okay. I'm about to say the second gayest thing I'll ever say in my entire life. But when Wade Barrett beat The Miz, I actually got a boner. Well, let's answer the questions. Right, Miz, fuck knows. He's probably going to feud with Cesaro now. And Wade Barrett, I think he's just going to crush people, and he's going to win Money in the Bank this year. I'll say that every year until he wins it, but still, yeah. My money's on Wade Barrett.
A.H. Walker mirroring the belief of everyone in the UK is that basically they're going to say that until Wade Barrett either wins a Money in the Bank or a Royal Rumble. Which I find hilarious, but I also find it a plausible thing that they could do. I feel like Wade Barrett has had... he's been primed for these spots, and they've never pulled the trigger with him. The guy hasn't violated wellness. Sure, he's had, one major injury. I guess he had a DUI arrest while he was in FCW at some point, or some sort of fighting, brawling arrest. I forget what he was arrested for. But, I mean, generally, Wade Barrett, ever since they placed faith in him and put him in charge of the Nexus and made him win NXT Season 1, I mean, the guy has not disappointed. So I'm sort of compelled to believe that he should be risen up via Money in the Bank or a Royal Rumble. I feel like he's got the size, he has the presence, he's good on the microphone. He is not terrible. I don't understand why we've de-pushed him to the point where even with the belt he's irrelevant, but that belt would have been made much more relevant by The Miz. The Miz is basically just there to sell pay-per-views, to hype up the crowd during press conferences, and to be the Oprah Winfrey of the WWE during his god-awful Miz TV segments. I feel like The Miz's best days are already past him. He puts a half-ass figure 4 on. Occasionally you might get a decent match out of The Miz. You'll never get a 4-star match out of the guy. I mean, what do you think? Do you think The Miz is just overrated at this point?
I don't think he's overrated. I just think that he's lost... I think, obviously, since the title loss, he just lost steam and never got it back. And... I kind of think that he could be still a good promotional guy, so he could still be something in the WWE. Like, so I can understand he still gets reaction and shit. So I don't think he's overrated. I just think like the theme he lost hasn't really been reflective of the body of work he's put in.
Yeah, I mean, now basically, I don't know. The Miz just. I don't care about him. I don't care about anything he does. I haven't since he split from John Morrison because the dirt sheet was amazing. Then he became this serious fucking guy. We put a belt on him, which was fine for like a few minutes. And when I say a few minutes, I mean like literally 5 minutes. And then afterwards, it was all downhill from there. Him and John Cena headlined one of the worst WrestleMania main events that I've ever seen, which I got to see live. Nobody cared about it. They put a fucking obese black person choir out there to sing John Cena to the ring for God knows what reason. Miz came out of the word awesome, which was made out of like marshmallow fucking balloons that looked more like they were made of semen. I mean, I don't understand what we're supposed to do with this guy or how we're supposed to take him seriously. The only reason that anybody takes him seriously is because for some odd reason, despite the fact that he looks like a frog, that girls want to fuck him. And he's married to Maurice, or going to marry Maurice, which is the greatest injustice I've ever heard in my life. I couldn't care less about The Miz. I feel like he is everything JBL has always said that The Miz was when The Miz's career started, that he's awful, that he's bland. The charisma that people claim The Miz has, I don't see it. I don't see it anymore at all. So I don't understand why we're supposed to care about this guy. I mean, have I covered it all? Do I need to bring up Alex Riley? Do I need to bring up his homosexual relationship with Alex Riley?
I think we're supposed to care for him because apparently Ric Flair does all of a sudden.
Yeah, Ric Flair, who gave him the figure 4, a figure 4 so bad that when Reed Flair saw it, he died. That shows you the power of the Miz figure 4. Now, one person's career goes downhill, one career goes to shit, and another career comes up. Now, this is something that has been taking the WWE by storm, and we need to talk about it. Fandango'ing. Now, let me explain how Fandango'ing sort of came about. Now, I was at WrestleMania 29, and I guess the acoustics in the arena were bad, but people were already Fandango'ing at this thing. Now in New Jersey the next night, it was very audible as the crowd began to hum and sing Fandango's theme, which has now become a thing that WWE is trying to push. Now everyone is all crazy about it. I see everyone on Twitter talking about it. That the Fandango theme is their ringtone. That they can't stop doing what A.H. Walker is doing right now and humming the theme. It is very catchy and hypnotic. Now I was doing this long before everyone else, at the risk of sounding like a fucking hipster. Anybody who was with me WrestleMania weekend can tell you that the Fandango ringtone was on my phone. And I mean, we were talking about it on Ask, the other show on this network that I do. For weeks we were playing the Fandango theme for no reason. It is so fucking catchy. And back then people, you can't wrestle, and not giving a shit. Now everyone is Fandango's best friend. Now let me ask you, A.H. Walker, has Johnny Curtis just entered the biggest gold mine of his entire career?
No, he hasn't, because the way everyone's going to act like this, he's going to be fucking Zack Ryder, and now everyone's going to hate him in about 10 months' time. This is bad. This is fucking bad, man. Fuck everyone.
You know, I beg to differ, actually. Now, as much as I would like to agree and say that this is going to lead him to being Zack Ryder or Santino Marella, everything awful. First of all, I got to troll people, as Glenn knows, on Halo by Fandango'ing, which was great. Derek insisted that we play the theme the entire time that we were on Halo, which was excellent. I just wish there were more angry black people on Halo at the time to curse us out for it. But back to the point, I think that it is very catchy, but I also noticed something on SmackDown this week. Now, Johnny Curtis Fandango came out towards the end of the night to watch Chris Jericho, who he is feuding with, take on Dolph Ziggler. Now, after the match, Fandango enters the ring, and he destroys Jericho, much like he's been before. But I don't know if you noticed this. He's much more animated than he was at WrestleMania, than when he was on the weeks leading up to WrestleMania, than he was on Raw. It looks like finally Fandango himself believes in what he's doing. He's not as stiff with the dance motions. He's acting out a lot more with the creepy perversion thing than he was before. Do you think that this, in effect, has boosted the confidence of Fandango to do what he was doing, or do you think that he was lacking in that prior? Because I feel like he was.
Maybe it's a very, very, very subtle ploy by Vince just try and get him heel. The more and more he dances, the quicker the guys get bored of it. Like, he could spend like 5 minutes just dancing until he gets heat or some shit like that.
I don't think so. I think that the reason that we weren't seeing it a lot before was because of the fact that we know for a fact that Fandango, formerly Johnny Curtis, was put in a very precarious position here. This Fandango gimmick is pretty much, from the minute you saw the first promo, you knew this was either going to be really good or was going to be a critical failure in every step of the way. You had people all over Twitter, fuck Johnny Curtis, I don't care about Johnny Curtis or Fandango, who the fuck is Johnny Curtis? He fucking sucks, without ever seeing him wrestle a match. I think he's fucking gay. Get this faggot out of here. I mean, literally, there were people that were just not willing to give him a chance whatsoever, just based solely on the fucking promo. Now, you had him come out here, and even though it was a dancing gimmick, there wasn't a whole lot of dancing initially. I felt like there were nerves, because I think that if you are Johnny Curtis, you're sitting there looking at this gimmick that might either be great or ridiculous. You're hearing these "you can't wrestle" chants, and you're probably thinking, "Oh shit, I'm doomed." And I'm pretty sure that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of nerves at WrestleMania 29 to have your debut match in this new gimmick. I feel like his confidence wasn't quite there because he knew that if they didn't take to it, he was going back to the drawing board. And by back to the drawing board, probably not even to NXT, they were probably just going to release him. So I think now that this Fandangoing thing has caught on, you've got people humming his theme, and this infection taking over, I think that it secured his spot on the WWE roster, at least for the time being, and it's allowed him to exude more confidence in what he's doing in the ring and as the Fandango character. That's what I mean. Do you think that in effect has saved his career?
I fucking hope so. I'd much rather before this be the defining moment of his career and him make something out of this than to be a flash in the pan and then be shit.
Yeah. I mean, It's just he does come off very creepy, the gyrating, the dancing, which I mean he excels at. He excelled at that since the beginning of his career. But I think now that he's got more of a confidence, he can actually do more with this Fandango character than he's been doing. And I think that's going to work out very well for him. I think now WWE has a way, an approach to market him, and that's very important. It doesn't matter how good of a wrestler you are in the WWE. If WWE cannot market you, you are fucked. And now Fandango is marketable. So what do you think about that?
Well, for the time being, I could agree to that, but time's going to see how far they push him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now I'm going to go as far as to say that I'm just hoping that it will pay off for his career in the long run. I think that the guy has earned. I think he's paid his dues. A lot of people are like, "Oh, fuck that. He hasn't earned nothing." I mean, do you think that Johnny Curtis has paid his dues through years being a developmental, NXT, and whatnot? What do you say to anybody who says that he hasn't paid his dues in this company?
I asked them to kindly go jump off a bridge, but kindly though.
Yeah, I mean. I don't know. I'm surprised by it. I think we're going to ask this next caller what he thinks about it. We are letting MJR on the line. He is
midgets are here.
Fandango.
You said it wrong.
You're what?
You're supposed to breathe the A's in, let it flow.
You're right.
What do you think about this? Do you agree or disagree? I mean, as far as Fandango prior, do you think that there was a lack of confidence on his part in the weeks leading up to WrestleMania before this chant started? Do you think that? Yeah.
It's funny. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as the Daniel Bryan chant. All it took was WWE to say, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go with it. Let's just see what the people think. And turns out people actually like Johnny Curtis as Fandango.
That one was much better. That was much better.
I've been practicing. All week at work.
Yeah, but see, that's the effect that it's having. I mean, you know it well. I mean, you know about the business side of things well. I mean, do you think that the thing now is that WWE has something marketable on their hands that they didn't have before with this character?
Yes, Fandango is very marketable. I mean, if you have people humming his song as he's coming out, and there's footage of that, you have somebody that's marketable. Now, I've heard that this is a parlor trick. This is going to wear off very fast. But you know what? That's what his in-ring ability is for. And I think Johnny Curtis, as a Fandango, as a wrestler, is very. I think he's a decent performer. So along with that, and along with his gimmick, you have the makings of a really good character.
Yeah, much like Triple H, much like Damian Sandow, he is a graduate of the Killer Kowalski School. He's been in WWE for a long time now. I'm pretty sure this isn't his first go-around. He knows how it works. I think he's got staying power, and you've also given him Chris Jericho to work with his first feud. And Jericho would not work with you if he didn't have any confidence in the fact that he could do something with you. I think that's a big boon to him.
I have to say, who was Daniel Bryan's first match in WWE against?
Chris Jericho. Exactly.
And what happened? Stardom.
I think that basically right now they've given Fandango all of the tools to succeed in the WWE. I don't think he'll be a fad because I think everyone's seen what happens when you're Zack Ryder, which is absolutely nothing. You become a flop in every way, shape, or form. I think it's stupid.
I want to explain what the problem with Zack Ryder is. Zack Ryder didn't do anything.
That he's a whiny bitch?
That too. The fact that he didn't do anything with the chance that he had. It's like for some reason, people got behind him, and that's great. He had a gimmick, he had a decent in-ring ability, but he did nothing beyond that. He kept running with that. He was like the dude with the one-hit wonder that kept playing the one fucking hit that he had, and he didn't play any of the other songs. Or people just didn't like any of the songs.
I completely, entirely agree with you. I feel like Zack Ryder, he played a song, he made a fucking single on iTunes about 1 year too late. Here's Hosky after Eve Torres is already released, and it's all dead and gone. Had you done that maybe when Eve was still here in the height of your little feud with her, maybe WWE would have given this shit. Now you're just releasing a song. Nobody gives a fuck. I mean, I hate to say it because I don't think Zack Ryder is a terrible wrestler. I think that he's a better in-ring performer than Santino Marella, but who's your other comical character right now. And not to say that Santino's bad, it's just the Santino character has limited Santino's moveset much more than Ryder's moveset has been limited.
I have a question. Do you think these guys, these are the people that need heel turns right now instead of I keep hearing the same whole, John Cena needs to turn heel, John Cena needs to turn heel. Do you think that these dudes need to heel turn more than John Cena?
Absolutely. I think that John Cena as a face works, and the people who hate John Cena still funnel money into your product because they want to hate John Cena or they want that heel turn. Everyone wants John Cena to be the bad guy, and they hate him so much that he's already the bad guy to those people. I think when you have somebody who's irrelevant like a Zack Ryder, like a Santino Marella, you need to do something with him. A Kofi Kingston, for example, and we're going to talk about that, and I'll leave you on for a full topic for this one. Now, unfortunately, WWE really must hate us to do this to us. The winner of a non-title match against Antonio Cesaro on SmackDown, SOS. It's called Same Old Shittin'. SOS. I hear them jobbing. I'm so fucking tired of watching Kofi Kingston wrestle for the IC or US Championship. And yet, here we are again. Clean win over Cesaro. This must put Kofi Kingston in contention for the US title. MJR, what do you think about Kofi Kingston? I mean,
I personally don't. I personally don't have I don't have a problem with Kofi Kingston at all. I have a problem with WWE not taking a chance and putting him higher up on the card. That's my problem with WWE. It's just, granted, Kofi does not have the mic skills it takes to really wow a crowd, but so didn't Daniel Bryan, and so didn't Johnny Curtis at one point. But you're willing to take that chances. You're willing to take those chances with those guys. So
Kofi's not bad on the mic. He just never gets a mic. There's a big difference between not being good on the mic and not being given a mic, I think. Kofi Kingston is one of those guys who needs to, when his contract is up, he needs to threaten to quit because, IC title, because there's so many times he's had the U.S. title or IC title or tag team champion, and it's like, at some point he needs to say, you know what, you either need to give me a world title shot or a WWE title shot, or I'm going. I'll go to TNA, and they'll definitely give me a world title shot. You know how Mortal Kombat does all the words with a C with a K instead? We should name him KKK, Complacent Kofi Kingston, because Kofi won't threaten to quit. He's said before that he's fine being on the mid-card level, and that's why he's been stuck there forever. And, I mean, this is the problem. Now, Kofi is a good worker. As I said, he's not like the best on the microphone, but he hasn't been given a microphone enough to excel or find anything to really do with it. You put him on a fucking WrestleMania pre-show as a fucking analyst because he had nothing else to do with this guy. He's had the mid-card belts more times than I can really count. He's had tag team titles before. He's not terrible. He hasn't violated wellness, which is apparently your reason for not putting any more belts on Randy Orton. He's been there for a very long tenure now. A.H. Walker, I mean, what do you think about Kofi Kingston? Do you think that this guy is just... do you think he's his own worst enemy because he doesn't strive to be more than he is right now? Or do you think that he's playing it safe because of the fact that he knows that anything else is taking a risk? He's earning a paycheck right now. I mean, what's the deal with this guy?
I think he's too scared to lose his spot, or WWE found because of what would you call it? Because of his athletic ability, he has to stay in mid card so he doesn't so he can do all these random spots or some shit. Because that's what they did with Evan Bourne and John Morrison.
You know, I started laughing, and not because of anything you said, because I randomly remembered that myself and Johnny were at Access for WrestleMania weekend. And we watched an Xavier Woods match. And we said, poor Xavier Woods is waiting for a black person to get injured on the main roster so he can get called up. And because Kofi's got that spot as, token athletic black guy. So basically, unless Kofi quits, gets fired, or injures himself, Xavier Woods will be on NXT for the next 1,000 years and be able to earn, 6 more doctorates in the time that he's down there. What do you think about that, A.H. Walker?
I think this guy could earn more money, like, being a fucking doctor than he can be, like, fucking in NXT right now.
He's got, like, a gazillion doctorates. That's his fucking gimmick. I mean, and it's legitimate. I mean, he is a smart guy. But let me ask you now, on the other side of the coin, you've got Antonio Cesaro, who was not on WrestleMania, and people are saying that they feel that Cesaro...
That was a goddamn shame.
Yeah, but people are saying that Antonio Cesaro, now, on the other side of the coin, is being punished. I don't really know if I agree with that. What do you think, Walker?
This is what I think. Like, when he came in, he was just like a house on fire, and like won the United States Championship, and he didn't really, I don't want to say he didn't pay his dues or nothing like that, but he didn't really put people over. And like, this is what he could have done, like in like NXT or whatever, is what he's probably doing now. You know what I mean?
Let me explain this to you guys. We just talked about how many years Johnny Curtis was in developmental. How long was Antonio Cesaro in developmental? Like 3 months before he got called up to the main roster? I mean, this was part of his this was part of his contract, that he would get called up much faster than the other guys, which is smart negotiating. I'm not saying that Antonio Cesaro doesn't deserve it, because he's world-renowned and he's, you know, picked his bones in the indies for years as Claudio Castagnoli. But, I mean, let's face it. I mean, just because we put him on what's called a cooler, I don't think he's being punished. When was the last time the U.S. belt was even at WrestleMania to begin with, regardless of who the champion was? It's been, what, 5-6 years? I mean, can someone tell me when the last time the U.S. title was defended on WrestleMania? Because I can't even fucking remember.
I think the last time, from what I remember, the last time the U.S. title was on WrestleMania, John Cena had it.
Good God, it's been a long time ago.
Exactly, that should tell you. I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with Cesaro. It has to do with the belt he's holding not really being all that important. I mean, Cesaro has made that belt more relevant than it really is, because it's been an afterthought for a long time. It is a WCW transplant championship. Any championship that has come from WCW, whether it's the World Heavyweight title, the United States Championship, the Cruiserweight title. Who the fuck is putting away dishes? Fucking calm down. My God, dishwasher.
Are you doing it for the person that owns you, slave boy?
Holy shit.
No, I'm actually rearranging my desk, you fucking spade.
Black on black crime on Sunday school. It's great.
NJR, I've got a request. Finger my bum.
This is the most disgustingly homoerotic thing I've ever heard on my show.
Yeah, really. No.
God, you're so gay, Marcel. You're so gay.
You asked me to finger your ass. How am I being gay?
Finger your ass.
After hearing these guys turn a conversation about Antonio Cesaro into gay black-on-black sex, I can honestly say maybe you guys are right that Cesaro is being buried. So we're just going to go to the next topic. MGR, thank you for calling in. We'll let you on again towards the end.
Love you, Marcel.
To talk about what you want to talk about when we let everybody back on the air. Now it's time to talk about a show that not too many people bother to watch or track down. It is WWE's developmental territory. Of course, we are talking about NXT. I actually like NXT's intro probably better than any of the other WWE programs right now. So we got to talk about NXT because this was actually a really good episode of NXT for people who did not watch it. This was the culmination of a feud that's been going on in NXT for a good while. It is the feud between Cassius Ohno, formerly Chris Hero, and William Regal came to a head on this episode of NXT. So, A.H. Walker, what do you think about this match? Do you think that this was every reason that NXT is actually still worth watching? Walker?
Oh, God, yes. This was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes?
This is really one of the best feuds that was going on in NXT. You had Cassius Ohno say that William Regal helped open the door for him to get into the WWE. Very serious work here, a lot of truth to it. And then he said that William Regal has accomplished nothing, that he's done nothing in the WWE except kiss Vince McMahon's ass. And this led to a full-fledged feud between the two, and William Regal much like he did with Dean Ambrose. I'm going to go to that dark place. I'm going to hurt you. God forgive me for what I'm going to do to you. I mean, he literally tried to break Cassius Ohno's fingers during the match. Now, Regal was victorious in the end with the knee trembler. What did you think of the match itself? These guys were given about 15 minutes to go on NXT. Do you think that this is what everybody should be watching in the WWE right now?
Oh, it made me moist. This was fantastic.
I mean, I think that this match also showed me that, and he's been ready for a while, but I think that Cassius Ohno is ready to be called up. Do you think that it's only a matter of time? Do you think that Cassius Ohno gets called up now that WrestleMania season is over and it's time to bring some new blood up? And is there space for him on the roster right now?
He'll be up before SummerSlam. Is there any space? I reckon someone's going to get fired eventually, so... And they'll just make space. They'll just push someone down, so that doesn't matter.
I'd rather see Ohno work with Cesaro than Kofi Kingston work with Cesaro, to be perfectly fucking honest. I mean... but I loved the whole way that they were pushing this Regal thing. The psychology of it was brilliant. Regal knows what he's doing. He is, again, one of probably the best wrestler on the roster never to hold a world championship. I think that's the biggest travesty we have in WWE is that Regal was never allowed a championship. So, I mean, what do you feel about this? You heard the "You Still Got It" chant. I mean, what do you think about Regal working with these young guys? Do you think we're going to see him continue to do that, or is he going to go back to commentating, and this was just specifically to get the Ohno feud going, because a lot of people didn't get to see the Ambrose one, which is almost the same thing.
I'd like to think that William Regal is going to be the NXT's version of Chris Jericho, and he'll just work with anybody that's got fucking talent. Oh, I'm sober enough. I don't like it. Fuck. And I think in the future that I think people need to pay more attention to it, because this is where the stars are coming from. Come on now.
Yeah. Now we also saw that unfortunately this is sort of a weird spot. Now the Shield went ahead and had a 6-man tag against Percy Watson and 2 other guys who are unimportant. I think Axel Keegan and Scott Dawson, who nobody cares about. And Percy Watson, the poor guy, is relegated to being a nobody. He is just not being used at all, which is a big fall from grace from where he used to be. But the Shield basically destroyed these guys. And then they get called out by Corey Graves on the microphone. Graves basically says the Shield does not run NXT. He's not going to allow it. And he wants any member of the Shield next week. Rollins went ahead, stepped up, and said he's the one who started it with Graves, so he's going to end it next week. So we've got Graves versus Rollins booked. Do you think Graves is a good fit for this? I mean, I feel like this is a very bad spot for him because of the fact that the Shield are supposed to be heels, but they're being treated like faces. So when Graves showed up on Titantron and challenged him, he got no reaction whatsoever. So let me ask you, what are your thoughts on Graves? Do you think that Corey Graves, another guy who we've heard might get called up, what are your thoughts on him? Does he have what it takes, or do you feel like there's still something missing from the equation with this guy?
He is the ultimate small fish in big pond, man. And there's no point having him up there because everything that he is and everything that he could be is done by CM Punk. Fuck that shit, man.
Yeah.
We already got CM Punk. He can't be duplicated.
Yeah, I mean,
John Cena can.
His only marketable trait is to put his fists together and they say stay down on him. I mean, the only thing that goes down is my interest in the show when Graves is on there. I feel like Rollins has already obliterated him several times in the ring. To see it again, I'm not really anxious to see it. I mean, I really don't care all that much. We put him in the NXT title picture for some reason, and I feel like there's just something missing with him, and I can't really put my finger on it. Now, we also saw some backstage promos with the Divas. Of course, we had Summer Rae, who said nothing really memorable at all. I mean, she's basically just, hey, I don't like Paige, and I'm going to kick her ass. Now, Summer Rae actually looks better in person than she does on TV. I don't know if it's because of her facial expressions or what that make her look like she has progeria on television. But what do you think about this? Does this feud do anything for you, or do you think it's sort of a sort of throwaway to have Summer Rae feud with Paige?
This feud makes me go to the toilet and take a shit and come back and hope that it's over. They shouldn't be wasting page on this cunt, man. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to really shit on Summer, but when she's just debuted on NXT, I think she's got a while to go. I think that an Audrey Marie or a Sasha Banks would be a better opponent for Paige at this point. I mean, don't you think? I mean, if you just had Summer debut and you debut her against Paige, I just don't think it's really the right spot, at least from a continuity standpoint. You know? So, now, we followed up with, forget Fandango'ing. Everybody is all about Fandango'ing, and I'm going to say that I think there's something that would work much better after seeing the promo. We should do Emma-ing. Emma-ing should be the big thing. Now, of course, Emma, who is notorious for botching her fucking entrance, had a promo, and it looks like they are now going with that Emma is going to be a clumsy person by design. So how did you feel about this? They're going to take Emma, who botched her entrance, and they're going to make this an intentional thing from now on to save face for the fact that she did. And she had this hilarious promo where she's talking about the Macarena and Madonna and the electric slide and all these, like, irrelevant things. And it's like, Renee Young just sort of looked at her like, are you on crack? And I was actually amused by this promo. So what do you think of them booking Emma as just, like, sort of a moron? Does it work for you?
I think this will be funny for like 2 months, and then I'll get bored of it.
I think this is fucking hilarious. My biggest regret is that we didn't get Emma to do the dance and dance with her at Access, because we totally should have now. Because I don't know why, but for some reason this made her whole existence 10 times more hilarious to me. And her music is ridiculously catchy. I think this is the next Fandango theme, everybody.
I do like the music. I think the music's pretty cool.
Yeah, but and then she sort of walked away doing the weird little stupid Emma dance thing, and Renee Young looks at her like she's mentally insane. I'm sorry, I actually think that this might make Emma somewhat more marketable than some of the other divas that are down there on NXT. I mean, at least she has something going for her, like as far as like a gimmick or a personality. I mean, as much as people kiss Paige's ass, let's be honest, Paige does not have a personality. She's good in the ring, but she has no persona to speak of. Do you think that's gonna hinder Paige going forward?
Pretty much. It's all about personality and entertaining people, and like.
I mean, it's not like she could be like her mom and kick people in the cunt in the middle of the ring. I mean, let's face it, you can't do that on PG-WWE television. So.
Oh God, let's talk about a mum real quick. Like, I had to unfollow her on Twitter because all she talks about is queefing, and all I think about is that fucking Miss Teen USA girl that you played that was queefing all the time, and I just feel sick. Like, fuck her. Yeah.
Kataros is saying he got to dance with Emma at Access, and I'm jealous now. Also, we got to see the Funkadactyls take on the Bella Twins in a singles match, which was the Brazzers sponsored WWE match of the week. The Bella Twins actually they had the pinfall victory on the Funkadactyls, which is funny because on SmackDown they also got a victory on the Funkadactyls. And to be honest, I'm surprised that I'm saying this, but the Bella Twins versus Cameron and Naomi are better Divas matches than anything else we've seen in a while. Would you agree or disagree?
I think the tag team match between the Bellas and the Funkadactyls was better than Tons of Funk and Road Scholars. Like, just think about that.
Yeah. Exactly. In other words, adding the guys to it actually took away from it. But, you know, if I have to see fucking Tensai's fat, dimpled ass in front of my face all the time, of course it's going to take away from my viewing enjoyment of... My screen cap in the recap is Brie Bella bending over, and it looks like she's motorboating Nikki in the photo. Because they're mocking the Funkadactyls and their ass poses. But, you know, a lot of people shit on the Bellas, but I think the Bellas have improved a lot. A lot of people don't give them the credit for doing so, and I think that Cameron and Naomi are much better than they've been given credit for because they haven't really gotten to wrestle all that much until recently. So what do you think? Do you think this feud should continue for a little while longer, or do you think it's time at some point for Naomi to transition into singles competition?
I think Naomi should transition to being inside my bedroom with my penis inside her, and then she can fist me as well. But like, yeah, she should wrestle by herself. Oh yeah, she's hot. Oh.
Now, it's interesting stop masturbating. You know what? In fact, I'm going to ruin your masturbation time and tell you about NXT at Access. And I'm going to start with your boy El Generico, who lost the match when of all people, the person you hate most in life on NXT, Leo Kruger. How does that make you feel to know that El Generico, now Sami Zayn, lost to Leo Kruger? And it's our
I'm done. Rage quit. Goodbye.
No. I think Ace Walker legitimately won. For some reason, he hates Leo Kruger. I don't know if Leo Kruger raped Ace Walker's mom or what. But the situation, for those who don't know, is actually Sami Zayn, who was El Generico, got busted open in the middle of the match, so they declared ref stoppage and awarded the match to Kruger. That's because of the fact that the blood thing, I guess, for Access, they didn't want to really go with it. So that's what happened there. A.H. Walker is actually going to get some food, and he'll be right back. It did hurt his feelings for me to say that. But I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and let MJR back on the line because of the fact that A.H. Walker rage quit to get food.
And you have to fill the black quota on this show.
Yeah, I do. That's a good point. Now, let me ask you, what do you think? Now, Sami Zayn in his first match, which was El Generico, loses to Leo Kruger. But I watched the match. He did very well for himself. The crowd was chanting Olay at him. He had several matches during Access weekend. So actually, I don't think that was his first match. I think it was Friday night as Sami Zayn. They've already given entrance music with actual lyrics. It doesn't look like they are ignoring Generico or what he's capable of doing. A lot of people feel that Generico, because he's not wearing a mask, is going to be buried and misused. Do you agree, or do you think that these people need to shut up until they actually see the guy in action unmasked?
I'm gonna go with shut up and actually watch the match, because I'm pretty sure that match will be available somewhere online, somebody's shitty cell phone camera. And you need to watch him even without the mask, he's still a good wrestler.
Yeah,
yes, his name is Sami Zayn. Yes, he's not El Generico anymore because WWE wants to own the names. Never mind. We all know the business behind it. So let's watch the fucking match instead of just complaining. I think there are people out there, there are wrestling fans out there who just want to complain about shit.
Yeah, I agree. And now with Dolph Ziggler as world champion, they have nothing to bitch and whine about. They'll find something new. This will probably be their next thing, is that El Generico doesn't have
No, they're gonna wait. No, they're gonna wait 2 weeks and then bitch about him, having the title for too long.
Yeah, probably. People are fucking whiny bitches. But ultimately, I think that Generico, without his mask, I think that he still excelled very well in the match he was in. The ref had to stop the match because of blood that I saw, but, I mean, he hadn't lost a step. He looked great in the ring. They've already figured out ways that I guess they intend to market Sami Zayn. I don't think he's got anything to worry about, and I think that it's a wait and see. I'm interested to see what his televised NXT debut is going to look like, which hopefully will be very, very soon. But I don't think he's got anything to worry about. Now, the thing that I found interesting is that we also saw at Access, when I was there, several matches involving Cassius Ohno, and he was booked as a heel in one match and a face in the other, which I think is just to see how the crowd reacts to him for a call-up. So do you think that this means that Cassius Ohno is going to be called up imminently? If they're testing which way he works better as?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are getting ready to be called up, because I think a lot of people are getting ready to be fired that are on the main roster that aren't really doing anything, and they see all these guys and all these veterans that they have, like Pac, like Cassius Ohno, like El Generico, and it's like, these guys are ready. We don't have to train these guys. Some of these guys need some mic work, but that can be fixed.
Now,
that can be covered up. So
I
think some people are going to get fired, and these people are going to get called up. In a matter of
that you mentioned that, because the rumor mill is going that the next three guys that they're looking to call up are Adrian Neville, who was formerly Pac, along with Cassius Ohno and Bray Wyatt. Now, I mean, what do you think? Do you think that that's a big sign that some of the guys that are in developmental that have been there a long time are in a little bit of trouble? Because these people have been developmental so long, and these guys are coming in and jumping over them immediately. I mean, Bray Wyatt has been there for several years, but
look what Bray Wyatt has been doing. I mean, from all the stuff I've heard about Bray Wyatt and the way he's really made that character, the way he's really popped off on screen and people react to that character, of course you want to see what it does on the bigger stage.
Bray Wyatt,
he's not
that great in the ring, but he's good on the mic, which you just touched on.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you have a guy like Adrian Neville who can put on those stellar matches, which people are looking for. I mean, WWE doesn't. I mean, at times we do think they ignore, the so-called real wrestling fans who want to see more action. We're bringing up a guy like Adrian Neville who's going to give you that real action, who's going to give you those 5-star spot fest and fill classic matches. So really, I don't think there's really nothing. There's nothing wrong with any of those guys being brought up. Nothing at all.
Let me ask you, A.H. Walker. Now you might have heard. Now the rumor is that Bray Wyatt, Adrian Neville, and Cassius Ohno are the next 3 names talking about being called up. Now we've already talked about Ohno and the fact that he can hang with the big names and he deserves a spot. Now we've got Adrian Neville, formerly Pac, who you've talked about many times on your own show. Whenever you choose to do it, once a century. Now, what do you think? Now, he's currently one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions with Oliver Gray, who's going to be out for what I heard 6 months. They haven't stripped Neville of the NXT Tag title because I guess they're trying to keep him with gold, and now they're talking about calling him up. Now, with a lack of a Rey Mysterio, with a lack of a Sin Cara, a lack of an Evan Bourne, all your high flyers are pretty much fucked. Is this the right time for Adrian Neville to step through the door and get called up right away?
Well, I've heard that Evan Bourne's on the way in, so on the way back in, so probably not.
Yeah, but Evan Bourne
actually no.
He's a 2-striker, so I mean, there you go.
I think Adrian Neville's better anyway, to be honest. That could be the British thing, and the fact that he gets me hard a little, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, now another thing that you'll find interesting is that not next week's NXT, but the week after, he has a United States Championship match against Antonio Cesaro. Now, of course, that's all pre-taped, so chances are he won't win, which is sort of the problem when you do championship matches on NXT. But I mean, just the fact that they are putting Neville against Cesaro, isn't that a match that's more for the throw to the indie fans, to the PWG fans, to put these 2 guys in the ring?
Yeah, I think it's more to attract people there to the day. Hey, there's this high-flying guy, but there's this guy that who we got on the main roster who holds a belt. You know what I mean? Championship match, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but these are 2 guys that, I mean, if they were wrestling on the indies against each other, people would have an indie-gasm. So, I mean, do you think that this is WWE's approach to get more of the indie fans to try to watch NXT and give it a shot? To see that WWE isn't going to... I mean, do you think it's going to be watered down heavily by the WWE machine, or do you think that they're going to let these guys just sort of give it a go?
It's obviously going to have their WWE limits, there's obviously no partner drivers or nothing like that, but they're gonna go balls to the wall, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's a good sign for anybody who wants to see some decent wrestling via NXT is that you're gonna see it, because you're gonna see some of these guys that they're bringing in, your Genericos, your Pacs, your Claudios, and you're gonna see them go against each other, and I don't think that that's a bad thing for business. I don't think it's a bad thing for the WWE. I don't think it's a bad thing for wrestling fans. I mean, didn't they just give us Kings of Wrestling reunion a few months ago where they had Cesaro team with Ohno? Wasn't it them and CM Punk versus?
No, it was Kings of Wrestling versus Punk and Rollins.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, you can't say that WWE is just going to spit these guys up, chew these guys up and spit them out, because sometimes they'll actually give us some decent shit, I think. So that's another reason that people should watch NXT, is because of the fact that you're going to see a lot of these guys before the WWE machine puts them in matches that only last 90 seconds at best. So hopefully people will actually give a shot to the show. Now we're going to go to the we're going to go to the next subject that we have to talk about. A.H. Walker, I apologize because this is going to make you sad, I think. We have to talk about it. It is time to get medicated.
Medication time. Medication time.
And when we play that music, you know that it's time to talk about TNA Impact. So, we've muted all the callers, but we're going to let you guys go around on Impact while we talk about it and try to get this over with. Now, for those of you who've never listened to the show, we last till 7 p.m. Eastern, at which time we go into a bit of an after show where the callers get to talk about what they want to talk about in the week of wrestling. It is available when you listen to the show on iTunes or any form of download, whether it is YouTube, Mixcloud, whether it's iTunes, JasonRayo.com, Blog Talk if you re-listen to the show. Anyway, shit goes on after the live show is over, so be sure to go back and download it. It's a good time to be had by all. What's not a good time is TNA Impact, usually. And bless their hearts, they are fucking trying, but I don't know. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel now. We have TNA, which they've limited their pay-per-views, so now a lot of the episodes of Impact are going to be placed with more importance of title nights and whatnot. So I guess they were coming out of Corpus Christi, Texas, and we did have a first title match opening up the show on Impact, and it was the team of Austin Aries and Bobby Roode taking on Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez, who came out with a generic Mexican boxer guy waving the flag of Texas. Nobody really seemed to react or care. Of course, Tenay and Taz try to make it out like it was a big deal. Now, the stipulation was that if Chavo and Hernandez lost, they would be split up as a tag team. Of course, Chavo and Hernandez won and are the new tag team champions. A.H. Walker. Do you think that this was a little bit too predictable once you put these guys are never allowed to tag again if they lose stipulation?
Yeah, pretty much.
You
showed their hand, man. Yeah. You showed their hand. You knew exactly what was going on.
And it was a 2 out of 3 falls match where 2 of the falls happened within a minute of each other at the beginning of the match. I mean, doesn't that defeat the purpose of a 2 out of 3 falls match, that the falls came so fucking fast? It was basically should have been a singles match. It felt like it was pointless to do that, don't you think?
It was shit, man. Like, I wanted to watch this, but then I remember that Chavo Guerrero was in it, and I was just like, nah, later.
You remember that Chavo Guerrero was alive. The wrong Guerrero died. Adam Pearson, we're letting you back on the line to talk about this. Now, obviously TNA put the belts back on the Mexicans to appeal to the El Paso, Texas crowd, or not El Paso, but Corpus Christi, wherever the fuck in Texas they were. Ass fuck Texas. There are Mexicans all over Texas. It doesn't fucking matter. But the crowd didn't seem to care. Do you think this was a bad move on TNA's part to remove the belts from Aries and Roode?
Absolutely. They've taken the belts off 2 guys that can go and actually mean something to the wrestling industry, and have put them on 2, not even has-beens, 2 never-was kind of wrestlers. And, trying to build Chavo Guerrero is like trying to rebuild the World Trade Center. It's just never going to happen, and you're going to get a fountain at best.
Now, the thing that I have a problem with is that initially the idea was that booking Roode and Aries as a team wasn't particularly that good. But then once you've committed to this idea, you're reneging on it. Now, the only reason that these 2 are together is because they won the tag championships. So by taking the belts off them, they really don't have a reason to be a team anymore. So, A.H. Walker, are we going to see Roode and the Aries continue to team, or is this going to be a reason to split them now? Because the only thing that held them as a team together in the first place was the fact they were the tag team champions.
I think they're going to win it back.
I mean, it's very iffy of them. I mean, this is just like, if you remember, they put Joe and Magnus as a tag team, and they were tag team champions, and they took the belts off them, and that was it. The fucking team disbanded, and people were loving Magnus and Joe as a team. And let's split them up. They don't like each other anymore. They never liked each other, so we're going to split them up. Do you think that this is bad for TNA's business? Do you think that this is the reason they don't really have a tag division? They don't stick to it. There's no consistency.
They don't care about it enough. They're just not putting the time and effort to it. If they put some time into it, they'd have something sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. They really... they make me feel like dying. They really do. Adam, we're going to go to the next TNA topic, which we'll let Glenn on for, and we'll see what he thinks about it. Now, obviously it was a show with a lot of promos that were not important, but they do these little Hervey cam bullshits and whatever the hell else, and they sort of go in and out. And then our next little in-ring full-on promo was, of all people, a gimmick that I find very stale, Joseph Park. Now, Park came out here and said that he took the liberty of drawing up annulment papers for Brooke Hogan so she could get divorced from Bully Ray. And then Devon came out here and beat him with a chain and was like, "You stay out of family business, nigga," and left. I mean, what the fuck? That's basically the gist of this promo. Now, let me ask you, this Joseph Park thing initially came, look at my brother Chris, and now he's just Joseph Park. Abyss does not exist. He's just this Joseph Park gimmick now. Is it stale? Has it run its course with you? I mean, is this something that TNA should continue to do, or is this something that has done the unthinkable and made you actually wish they'd bring Abyss back?
Honestly, I thought it was stupid from the beginning. I mean, it was kind of enjoyable, except that the only thing enjoyable about it was that there were people that legitimately thought that he wasn't Abyss. And just watching them like try to fight off people like, no, that's not Abyss, that's Joseph Park, it's his brother. It's like, you're fucking stupid.
I think the best part for me was when he would actually go up to people in the back and go, "I'm looking for my brother Chris, Abyss," and he like put his hand out like Abyss is shorter than him. I was like, what? I mean, A.H. Walker, what do you think? I mean, obviously they're going to go for a Joseph Park Devon TV title feud here. But, I mean, is this Joseph Park thing stale? Should they relegate him back to being Abyss, the monster, at this point?
Abyss was a sack of shit. Like,
but that's sad that this makes me miss Abyss.
I don't miss Abyss.
Let me cut you off there, A.H. Walker. Pre-Hulk Hogan Abyss was okay. Once Hulk Hogan came around, Abyss became the biggest useless pile of shit in the entire company.
No, I like the Abyss.
Besides, of course, Hogan and Bischoff.
I like the Abyss that tried to sodomize people with Janice. For some reason, that was funny. And when he like tortured fans and he asked them, "Do you prefer Janice or do you prefer Bob?" And he had like a branding iron. And these people are named Dixie Carter's fucking parents. I mean, it's like, what the hell is this? but now he's Joseph Park, and I'm just sort of bored. He comes out, "Hi, I'm a lawyer." And the guys in the back talk about kayfabe, and I don't even know what that means. And it's just very stupid. They're trying to appeal to the smarks with all this wrestling insider lingo, and it just, I don't feel like it works. I mean,
John Cena does a better job of it than he does.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Walker? Do you think this Joseph Park thing needs to end?
No, I like it. It's clearly there. It's not just like one of a side gimmick and nothing like that. That's pretty much what he's going to be for the rest of his career, or for a longer while.
I know you're gay. You like Joseph Park.
Aww.
I know how he's gay, because he shoved his fist in his ass before and tried getting another black man to do it for him.
Isn't he two fingers?
Devon, who, like I said, he came out, "Nigga, you better stay out of family business."
You honestly were just more entertaining than TNA has been since 2007.
Yeah. I really wish that they would let Devon just go full black when he speaks, because you've got this black man in a biker attire, and he's basically like beating up a fucking overgrown fat white man because he's trying to get his brother divorced. I mean,
never go full nigga.
Yeah. I don't even know what to think about Devon anymore at this point. I mean, it's just very strange now. I think that you had this Aces and Eights thing, and he was the top guy in the Aces and Eights until you put Bully Ray in the group, and now Devon goes back to being just Bully Ray's black bitch.
I think you forgot to mention that he was the top guy until fucking D'Lo Brown came in.
So yeah, he's not even the top Negro in Aces and Eights because D'Lo is the president. I mean, how would that make you feel, A.H. Walker, if you were in a faction and then you got out Negroed by like some other black guy that came in after you? Like if I let MJR like on the call like right now again and
listen.
I'm listening.
Listen, I get out-negroed by white people. Like I can't say nothing.
That's very true. That's very true. I'm telling you, I can't help but just laugh at anyone who would think this is a good idea. Now I'm actually going to mute Glenn and turn the. I'm going to turn the Negro count in your favor, A.H. Walker, as we talk about the biggest win in her career, and that's not saying much. We saw Taryn Terrell take on Gail Kim. Now, I will say that Taryn Terrell's ass is incredible.
Yes.
I want her to sit on my face.
I want her to sit on my face, too. Matter of fact, I'm going to send her a tweet.
Now, we've also turned ODB into the Knockouts referee as opposed to Joey Ryan, and this really made me sad in every sense of the word. Because I love Joey Ryan and what he did last week when he was reffing the Knockouts matches and he was putting his face all up in the Knockouts' asses and crotches and tits, and he was like not counting so that he could stare at ass and have an erection. Joey Ryan should officiate every women's match in all of wrestling from now on until the end of time. So what do you think, MJR? You're the only fan of ODB at this point. How do you feel about her being appointed the Knockouts referee?
Well, I know every time that I'll get somewhat quasi of a what's equivalent to a lesbian threesome every time I turn on to a Knockouts match if they continue to have her wrestling.
I mean, ODB would turn my women's fantasies with the Knockouts. She would make me flaccid. She probably has a bigger dick than I do. A.H. Walker, I mean, what do you think? Would you rather have ODB officiating Knockouts matches or Joey Ryan?
Joey Ryan.
I mean, it's just too good. I mean, he's the sleaziest motherfucker ever, and we rewarded him with a match with Big Rob Terry. What are we doing here? I mean, it was a match about dick size, apparently, but Rob Terry won. MJR, I mean, is this a sign that they have no purpose or point for Rob Terry past his feud with Robbie E? Because, I mean, what do you do with him now? He's just this big guy that hey, I'm big, I'm Rob Terry, and I have bigger tits than half the Knockouts.
Question, what was they going to do with Rob Terry anyway? Why did they ever sign Rob Terry? That's always been my thing, like, why?
To be fair, Rob Terry was part of the greatest tag team in TNA in the past 365 days. The team of Big Rob and Little Rob. Oh!
That tag team was a joke.
And they're matching sweaters. I mean, they should have been tag team champions like 6 times. Instead, we broke them up. I don't understand why we did that. That was a great team. They were bros, bro. I mean, and now we have Rob Terry by himself. There's no point. We have Robbie E by himself. There's no point to him. The whole point of putting them together was to take 2 guys that were pointless and giving them something to do, and we don't have that. I mean, what do you think, A.H. Walker? Would you rather have Rob Terry running wild by himself, jobbing Joey Ryan, or should he be holding the rope open for little Robbie, bro?
Holding the rope open for little Robbie, bro. 12 points, bro.
Oh! That's the only time I even gave it. How sad is it that the only time I gave a fuck about Rob Terry's career existence was when he was Robbie E's sidekick? Now you have him by himself and he's fucking pointless. And on top of that, now he's taking Joey Ryan to hell with him.
Fuck
so what do we do with Joey Ryan now? Does Joey Ryan get to transition into the X Division, or does he get to be nothing but a comedic role?
They're probably going to stick him with being a comedic role because that's all TNA knows how to do is put jokes on TV. Taz still has a job.
Yeah, I mean, this was horrible. I mean, why did we invest all this time and money and effort to get Joey Ryan signed, and for what? To get buried by Rob Terry? That's just poor form, TNA. That is poor form indeed. So we're gonna go ahead and mute you, MJR, because we're gonna let the actually, I'm not going to let Dom on for any of TNA because he doesn't watch it, and so he would be lost, and it would be sad to just hear him go, well, I don't know anything. Because this next spot, I think, is going to be all you, A.H. Walker. We had Gut Check, which we had Magno and Adam Pearce as our 2 options.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, what are you talking about? They told Adam Pearce to fuck off and go home. which led us to them deciding on that. So which no. So what do you think about this? Did they just miss out on a big opportunity to have a major independent name as part of their company when they told Adam Pearce to go home?
They had a future world champion there, and they got rid of him. Stupidness, man. You couldn't tell. I almost cried when they told Adam Pearce to go away, and I was like, no, Adam, come back, Adam, come back, man. But no.
Yeah, I don't understand what the point was to do this, you know?
Stupid. I don't even like Magno. He looks like a retard.
He looks like a metrosexual Rey Mysterio, and he didn't get passed. So let me ask you, what was the point of this gut check? It feels like nothing. I mean, what are we doing with this? Shouldn't we be bringing up good talent anytime we can?
Well, I think... good checks balls it up. They balls it up anyway, man. It's crap. It's just a time filler. They ain't gonna sign no one. Whoever gets signed ain't gonna make an appearance for another year.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, other than Joey Ryan, nobody from Gut Check has really appeared, have they?
Yeah, and Joey Ryan didn't win his Gut Check. Well, besides Christian York.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Christian York, which tells you how long his push lasted post Gut Check. What's unfortunate now. We did also have this whole AJ Styles thing where we're battling for AJ Styles' soul. Anderson wants Styles in Aces and Eights. Hogan wants AJ Styles to come suck his dick in TNA. And Bad Influence want AJ Styles to hang out with them and be a poor man's fortune again. And James Storm is pissed off at AJ. So what are we doing here? I feel like this is a rehash of 15, 16 years ago. NWO versus Sting. The only difference now, AJ Styles is Sting. I mean, isn't this the same exact thing that we've seen from WCW? I mean, they may speed it up a little bit, but we basically got AJ Styles asking anybody any answers. He comes out here looking like a homeless man. And hey, it's AJ Styles. Whose side is he on? I mean, is this a good spot for AJ Styles, or is this sort of an insult to the intelligence of the fans because it's something that's already been done?
I don't know, man. I like him. I liked how AJ doesn't talk, and I like how he got fatter. That's pretty much it.
Claire Lynch gave AJ Styles a nervous breakdown. Just think about that. She, the baby wasn't even his, and she
gave all this a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, I mean, this is horrible. I can't help but laugh. But for some reason, I like the homeless-looking AJ Styles. It doesn't make me laugh tremendously. But I don't know if I care about Bad Influence trying to get AJ to hang out with them. I don't know if I care about James Storm trying to feud with AJ Styles. I don't care about this power struggle between the Aces and Eights and Hulk Hogan. I mean, it's just very lost on me. I just don't really care much. I mean, does that sum up how people feel about TNA these days?
I'm going to be honest, I didn't care about TNA enough to listen to what you just said. I just heard TNA and just fuck.
Now, we also had Jeff Hardy challenge for the TNA Heavyweight Championship at the end of the night against Bully Ray in a Full Metal Mayhem match. Thanks to Taz, who MJR hates with a passion, Bully Ray retains. I thought we may see a Brooke Hogan heel turn here. Unfortunately, that did not happen because Brooke Hogan sat at ringside and watched this entire thing go down. But what are your thoughts now? Bully Ray defeated Jeff Hardy. He has defeated the last line of TNA's defense. He is the world champion. He's in Aces and Eights. I mean, where do we go from here? Is it going to all revolve around the whole AJ Styles and whose side is he on shit? Or who is next in line for Bully Ray's championship? Kurt Angle? Joseph Park? Taryn Terrell? I mean, what's going on here? I feel like they're just sort of lost.
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan
the Sting.
Yeah, that's sad. And they have this Hogan versus Sting feud going on, and I can't say I care. I really don't. And I think that's how people feel about TNA right now. I really do. So, we're going to get on to it. We're almost done with the show. We're going to play one last little commercial break, and then we're going to let all the callers back on the air, and you get to talk about what you want to talk about in the week of professional wrestling. If you want to call in, you still have time. It's 646-727-2364, or you can call in live via Skype. We're going to play a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. So let me go ahead and launch this up.
What's up, podcast fans? We all know that there are thousands of available podcasts online, and it can be a chore to find some that aren't just taking up space on your iTunes. Maybe you want to do more than just listen to other people talk and want to throw your 2 cents in once in a while. Well, I'm going to help you out. Where do you go? Check out the Card Subject Change Network on blogtalkradio.com, where you can get a triple thread of wrestling analysis from every possible perspective with the Matt and Ben Show, Sunday School, and the Shiznit. If news and politics are more your thing, check out About That with Matthew John, where he offers up a different spin than your ordinary news shows. Or if you're just looking for a good time, join Jason Rivera along with some of the most entertaining online personalities as they answer all of your listener-submitted questions on Ask. CSTCnetwork.com, CSTC Network on Twitter, Ask CSTC on Twitter, and AskCast on YouTube. Where do you go? I wanna know. For more fun and laughs, check out the Trending Topics Network on blogtalkradio.com and join Jack and Brian on Tunes. For in-depth movie analysis, you can grab some popcorn and hang out with old school at the movies. And if you're not so tech-savvy, Piper the DJ can help you out on trending mobile technology. Follow TTNet on Twitter for updates. You can also catch Piper the DJ on ubergeeks.podbean.com, as well as everyone's favorite sandwich thief, Fat Ninja, as he keeps you up to date on everything in the world of video games with the Fat Ninja Game Talk Radio. Don't forget you can also download all of these great shows on iTunes. So if you don't know, now you know.
All right, and we are back. We've got 10 minutes left in the show. Again, if you download this show on iTunes, listen to it on YouTube or on Mixcloud, or listen to it here on Blog Talk, you'll be able to hear everything that goes on after we go off the air live in 8 minutes. We're going to let callers on the line. We're going to go ahead and let them all on, all the ones that you heard during the show. So Adam Pearson is with us. We also have Dom, we have Glenn, and we have MJR. And it's time to talk about what you guys want to talk about in the world of professional wrestling. So, Adam, you go first. Tell us a little bit what you want to talk about that we didn't touch on the main show.
Okay, let's have a think. What is going to happen with the Intercontinental title this wrestling year?
I think it's going to continue to be irrelevant. H. Walker, what do you think?
Bo Dallas.
Get him off the show. Get him off. Kick him off. Block him.
Hey, Walker, what about you?
Wade Barrett will have it, and he'll hold Money in the Bank and the World Championship, and then every other title because it's Wade Barrett. Thank you very much.
You are still British right now. MJR, what do you think is going to happen in the world of professional wrestling with the Intercontinental title?
I'm throwing the bold prediction out there. Cassius Ohno will win the world title. We'll win the Intercontinental title. Book it.
And we know Glenn wants Bo Dallas.
No, I honestly, I don't care who wins it. I just want somebody that isn't Wade Barrett to have it because fuck Wade Barrett.
Fuck you.
Now, Dom, what do you think? What should happen with the Intercontinental title this year?
I'll tell you what I think. They should capitalize on this whole Fandango thing, and not now, but some point down the line, give him the belt.
I'm actually going to disagree with all of you and say one man needs the Intercontinental Championship, and that's because of the fact that the entire world, is stupid and can benefit from his glorious intellect.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. I love that song. It's great. But no, I think Sandow should have had the Intercontinental title basically I think he should have had it last year. I would have rather had him with the Intercontinental belt in the singles run than as part of Team Rhodes Scholars or Team Not on WrestleMania or whatever the fuck you want to call them. I just think that's a better spot for him. I do feel the fact that Miz didn't have it is a good sign. I think that we have a lot of options for the belt. We do have a lot of newcomers, up-and-comers. We do have Fandango. We do have Damian Sandow. We do have guys like Cody Rhodes who've been there who could benefit from the belt again. You probably have Christian looking to get back in the mix. So I think there are a lot of options.
Bo Dallas getting in the mix.
Fuck off.
No.
I hope when you say Bo Dallas gets in the mix that means that he falls into a vat of acid and melts. I hope
that's Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I hope that's the only mix he's a part of. It's not about smiles for miles; it's about frowns for rounds. Because that's what happens whenever he comes out. I think. So now, Glenn, what do you want to talk about in the week of wrestling other than Bo Dallas?
I don't want to talk about Bo Dallas anymore, unless it makes A.H. Walker start cutting his arms off with saws. No, what I want to talk about is how fucking pathetic the Divas division has gotten. Where the only touch of woman we almost got on WrestleMania got scrapped, thrown on Raw. How pathetic is what can they possibly do to make people care? Because Caitlyn is one of the most over divas in the past couple of years, except for maybe Layla, and still nobody gives a fuck. What do they do?
Yeah, I mean it's funny that you mentioned that because of the fact that Caitlyn versus AJ is not even going to happen on Raw or SmackDown. Apparently that match was relegated all the way down to NXT. So Caitlyn will be taking on AJ in 2 weeks on a taped NXT match and defending the championship there. So how sad is it that 2 years later they're still sort of in effect on NXT? Dom, what do you think? I mean, Caitlyn scrapped from the WrestleMania card where she could have fought AJ Lee. The Divas match was pulled from the card, the 8-person match. So what's going to happen? Do you think it's time to call some divas up, or do you think a problem is also that the NXT divas just aren't ready yet?
I think you have Caitlyn and AJ, who are two of the most talented women on the roster. I think it's just a shame all around, and I think they should call up NXT divas, but I don't think they should call them up immediately because I've seen NXT. And, they still got a lot of work to do. But I think also the other problem with Mania was that there was a lot of timing issues as well. There weren't any backstage stuff either.
Yeah.
So
let me do what the entire rest of the Twitter wrestling community does every time divas are brought up and complain. Oh, my God, Paige needs to be on TV. Paige needs to be on TV now. I've got my dick in my hand and Paige isn't on my fucking TV. She better be on my TV now. That's pretty much That's the internet. Whenever the divas are brought up,
I want Santina to be the Divas champion.
That's scary. Now, what do you think, MJR? Do you think that people are putting too much stock in Paige being called up at this point to save the Divas division, or is it pretty apparent that right now the WWE's focus is not the Divas division, and that people are just going to have to accept that?
People are going to accept the fact that it's not on the Divas division. And the reason why the focus is not on the Divas division is because we only have 2 divas to work with. There really isn't any other divas that can really get on the mic.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, AJ is a manager. I mean, she is not even a wrestler at this point. She manages Dolph Ziggler. Caitlyn is an afterthought. Johnny Velour is pissed off at Caitlyn, said so unasked this week. He said that if Vince McMahon were dying, he wouldn't put Caitlyn on television, which is a shame. I think that Caitlyn is a good Divas champion, but I also think she's been relegated to afterthought status by creative and by booking, and I think that's bad overall. I mean, she's not even first fiddle in the tag match she had on SmackDown. You put the Funkadactyls in front of her. Now we've got 90 seconds left in the show. Again, if you download the show, you'll be able to hear the rest of the discussion. Will be going on for just a little while longer. So be sure to download this show, review us on iTunes, check out jasonrera.com, check out mixcloud.com/Sunday Schools Podcast, check out youtube.com/Sunday Schools Podcast, follow the new Twitter account at SunSchoolCSTC, and do all that, and also give me money and send me nude pictures if you are a woman and you are legal. If you are a male, send me nude pictures of your wives, your girlfriends, your sisters, and everything else. So we're going to continue on now with the rest of the show. And basically, what do you think, A.H. Walker, Divas Division?
Ha. Nothing.
Yeah. I think A.H. Walker is just sad because the only female wrestler he cared about is knocked up, which is Madison Rayne.
I'm moving on to Naomi now. Thank you very much.
Naomi is so fucking ugly.
I like
you
Naomi.
Keep your hands, hey, A.H. Walker, you keep your filthy monkey spade hands off Naomi, you son of a bitch.
Why do we have orangutans fighting on fucking Sunday school?
Listen,
hey,
hold on.
No one's talking to you, Whitey. No one's talking to you, White Bread. Shut up.
Be quiet. Everyone be quiet. Everyone be quiet. Everyone be quiet. Everyone be quiet. MJR, Naomi's not going to fuck someone that's shorter than her. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, I would live in Naomi's ass in the event of the nuclear detonation. I want to land on her ass and plant a flag on it like it's the moon. I mean, that thing is nice. I mean, sure, she blocked me on Twitter because her brother is a douchebag who told me to stop talking about his sister's ass on Facebook. But that's besides the point.
I don't give a fuck. I'll keep talking about her ass.
I think the best comment in all of that was when Ed Wood asked Naomi's brother and father if Naomi's father has the same ass that she does. That had to be the best part of the whole thing. I felt that was great. That was one for the ages. But I would to steal a page from Satirical Smark, I would empty my balls in Naomi's ass.
Damn.
Yeah.
Me too.
That would be a waste of your semen, Jason.
Adam Pearson.
Hey, Hockey, shut up.
What are your thoughts on?
She's even uglier than ODB.
Hey, nobody's talking to you, White Bread.
So, Adam, what do you think of the Divas Division? What can save the Divas Division at this juncture? Adam? We lost Adam. Fuck.
He lost it to Naomi's ass.
He got eaten by Naomi's ass. He's in there now.
I'm back. I managed to escape.
Hey, was it magnificent?
It's dark in there, guys.
Adam, was it as magnificent as we all imagined?
I think Adam just came back from Planet Funk.
It's dark, cold, it's lonely, and I think I found Zack Ryder's push up there.
Oh God.
No, nothing can save the Divas Division. And I agree with Glenn. If I had a dog that looked like Naomi, I'd shave its ass and teach it to walk backwards.
Oh, wow. You know what? I think you're all wrong, though. I think somebody can save the Divas Division. Somebody can save the Divas Division and needs to be called up right now. Right now. No.
Bo Dallas.
Emma. She needs to come out here and dance her way through the ring and botch her entrance live on Raw. And then people will do Emma-ing instead of Fandango'ing. What the fuck are you doing, MJR?
Nothing.
I think or maybe he's Emma-ing at home. Because I know I am. That shit is great. So, anyway, we talked about the Divas Division and how it's almost just about beyond hope at this point. MJR, what do you want to talk about in the week of wrestling?
There was a story that came up. Your boys, Turkey Hit Theater Wrestling and Big Useless were complaining about a promotion on Twitter. Tacky or tactful?
Who were complaining now?
Kevin Nash and Sean Waltman.
Which match were they complaining about?
No, they were complaining about they were complaining not being paid by like an indie promoter, and so they went to Twitter and started complaining.
I don't know. I mean, I can't say that I care about anything that they say at this point because they're old and sad. I mean, what do you think, Tom? Do you care about anything Kevin Nash and Sean Waltman really say?
The last time I cared about anything they had to do, I was like 12.
I mean, apparently they were Well, apparently, I don't know. I think this is, now reading the story, apparently they were never paid for a match that they had in Waynesboro, Virginia, Waynesboro High School against the Rock and Roll Express.
What?
Now, yeah.
Is this the Rock and Roll Express?
I didn't know that they were even still alive.
Neither did I. Holy fuck.
Let alone still wrestling. Those guys are the only people older than X-Pac and Kevin Nash at this point. I mean,
and they probably still have the mullets.
What do you think? I mean, do you think that it's a good outlet to complain about a wrestling promoter not paying you, or do you think it's unprofessional, as MJR said?
I don't know. I think they need to talk to who was it that we called on Asked a while back that just stole a bunch of money from some indie promoter. I think they should talk to him and see if,
Davey Richards.
Davey Richards. Talk to Davey Richards and see if he can share some of his funds, or they can start a Kickstarter fund and pretend that they're getting good.
Like the one Cranky Ribs started to send Dom to North Korea.
Okay, now normally I bitch about that, but I gotta give it the props. That was some pretty creative way to make fun of me. I give him props for that.
Is there any money in it yet?
I don't think there is.
Dom, you would be the tallest person in the entire country.
No, I know they all take one look at me. They brought me, and they probably killed Kim Jong. What the fuck? They probably want me to run it. Because they can't do any worse than him.
Kim Jong-un is not that retarded.
So what? He would be Kim Jong-dom? That's horrible.
Dom Jong-un.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you think, Age Walker? Is this the right way to go about their business, is to complain on Twitter that they're not being paid?
No, it's quite stupid. It's really retarded.
I mean, Adam, if somebody, didn't pay you, and they didn't seem to have any intention of doing so, would you out them on Twitter for it, or would you just keep it to yourself?
I wouldn't out them on Twitter. That's just a stupid place to do it. But I'd certainly say something. Though before I went complaining that I didn't get paid for wrestling a match, I'd actually make sure I could wrestle. I wasn't just an old, retired, torn-ass old has-been.
Well, you
Stop
know
making
what?
fun of Hulk Hogan.
You know what, guys? That's not the right way to do business. Arguing with someone on Twitter isn't the right way to do anything. That's not how a man handles his business. A man should do it privately via email and harass everyone that he doesn't agree with.
For everyone that doesn't know that is another hit out to to Rue's best friend Dan McKellen. Thank you very much.
I just remember MJR hosting a show that was 5 hours of him saying that everyone should privately email each other and talk shit about each other privately instead of publicly.
So, Marcel, nice work on mediating that. You idiot.
Quiet, babe.
But anyway, I don't know. I have no problem with it just because of the fact that when you're of the rapport of a... First of all, this is Sean Waltman and Kevin Nash. And if you expect good behavior out of these two guys who made a name for themselves on being anything but well-behaved in the world of wrestling, then you're an idiot and you probably should pay them to keep their fucking mouths shut. Secondly, with the amount of Twitter followers they have, at least a lot of people would see that, okay, if you work for this podunk little town promotion, you're not going to get paid. But it begs the question, why would you draw attention to the fact that you, Kevin Nash, you, Sean Waltman, two of the once biggest names in wrestling during the 90s, have been relegated to working a high school against the fucking Rock and Roll Express? I'd be embarrassed to even bring that up. If anything, they should pay the promoter to never mention that they had that match ever again.
Yes, I agree. Could be worse. They could book Kevin Nash to come in and do his act from Magic Mike.
Oh no! You
probably whoa! Did you go watch Magic Mike, Dom?
No.
Yeah,
that sounded like a fucking lie.
That's a guilty now.
Dom likes helicopters. That's all. Turn that on Twitter. Dom likes helicopters.
No, when it comes to Kevin Nash movies, I prefer The Longest Yard.
I bet
you like helicopters.
He likes The Longest Yard. Dom, is your homepage meatspin.com?
I don't have a homepage, thank you. I don't even know the only thing I got is Twitter.
Okay. Well, it's just
you live a sad existence.
I know, and I'm not proud of it, but I admit it. You're absolutely right. I live a sad, pitiful existence.
I really, really, really hope you enjoy North Korea.
At least if nothing else, if I go to North Korea, then the fucking geishas would show up. I get laid.
Well, you have rice. You'd have lots of rice.
That's if you're allowed. But that's if you're allowed to get laid in North Korea, because I don't know. Dude, come here.
The rice in North Korea is probably really good, and you could probably get a nice deal on a Hyundai. So I think Dom would be okay. Now, A.H. Walker, is there anything we didn't cover on the main show that you want to talk about now?
No, I think we're good. Actually, can we talk about Wade Barrett and how big his knob is?
No, shut up, you fucking foghorn.
That is really frightening.
Let's talk about Wade Barrett and how much he fucking sucks and how much everybody needs to get off his fucking dick.
No.
You know what? I just think this show is basically just gone to really weird, creepy levels.
Wait. Well, I want to talk about something in the world of wrestling this week.
Okay.
I want to talk about Raw and how amazing the crowd was.
Oh yeah, the New Jersey crowd.
Yeah, I think the crowds at the Raws after WrestleMania have always been the more vocal. I mean, take last year for instance. In this day and age, you expect the crowds to, boo or whatever, but it's very rare that you get a passionate crowd like that, and they cheer, they yell, they chant, they whatever. They got the Fandango thing going, so I got to give props to the crowd last year. It's getting to a point where Vince, I heard there's this rumor going around that Vince is going to try to book the Superdome next year, not just for WrestleMania, but for the Raw after that as well.
It's the reason that Raw is so over the next day is because it's the people from WrestleMania that are like the entire show is like Europeans, people from New York, like people from Chicago, people from like real wrestling backgrounds, people like from Europe that are fucking soccer hooligans that watch wrestling. That's what it was.
Yeah,
people are going to say it's the New Jersey crowd.
Right.
I bet
15%
of that crowd was from New Jersey. Maybe.
Yeah, you've got a point.
Wait. Did you say soccer hooligans, Glenn?
Yeah.
The fuck do you think I said?
Nice. I was complimenting you.
Retarded?
I was complimenting you, fucking redneck.
Bottom line is
I've lived in a city my entire life.
I understand why when they go to England for Raw. But yeah, I just got to give props to the crowd and that show.
Thank you, Big Show. Thank you, Big Show.
Bottom line, I thought last Monday's Raw was one of the better ones they've had in a while.
I don't even know what the hell is going on here.
Neither do I.
So, what do you think of that crowd, Adam? I mean, do you think New Jersey gets? Why is New Jersey going to get the credit when?
No, I don't think they should. It was the WrestleMania crowd, so kind of New Jersey is not famous for its witty banter and interactions. If anything's taught us that, it's Jersey Shore.
Yeah,
that's very true.
So no, I don't think New Jersey.
The point I was trying to make was that it's very rare in this day and age. I think it's only like the Raws after WrestleMania where you get and when they go to England and you get a crowd who's invested in what they see. That's the point I was trying to make.
Yes. I'm going to that Raw. I'll be there with my Sunday school podcast sign and.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, if you don't bring a sign, you're not a real fan. Anyway.
I know. That's what scares me, Ray.
I'm sorry, but you're a dork if you're a fucking dork if you bring a sign. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
If you go to WrestleMania, you should wear a TNA shirt just to fucking piss off everybody.
I would do that. I would fucking do that.
So let me ask you, Ace Walker, what do you think of that crowd? I mean, do you think that crowd is the reason that we have a lot of the Fandango'ing and a lot of the just overall positive reaction that I think we didn't have at WrestleMania was in that Raw crowd? Pretty much, man. There's a lot of, as Glenn said, there's a lot of people that probably like watch soccer as it's called there. It's mostly British people that were there. Come on now, let's be honest. It's my people.
I gotta say, your people are better fans for the simple fact that you don't get spoiled with having a show at your hometown every fucking 2 months. The reason you guys are such good wrestling fans is because they come out there maybe once or twice a year, and then the people that do want to see it live, they go, and that you guys are loud.
They're coming over next week.
Is it next week? I'm not gonna watch it because I can read the fucking pre-tape shit.
Yeah, but then Glenn then hates the crowd also because they like Wade Barrett.
Yeah, fuck Wade Barrett. I hope he breaks like both knees. I hope he gets buried and drowned in the ocean. And I hope Bo Dallas is the one who gets to fucking say his last right.
I hope Wade Barrett runs a train on you with like random British people.
I don't have a problem with British people. That's the thing. I just hate Wade Barrett. He's useless. He sucks.
I hope Wade Barrett and Matt McGough like run a train on you because that's Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett's big fan.
I love Matt. I love Matt more than you love Wade Barrett. I love Matt more than I hate Wade Barrett. I fucking hate Wade Barrett.
That's pretty gay, dude. That's pretty gay. That's coming from me.
Okay, so let me go on to you, MJR. What are your thoughts on the crowd?
You know what? It's the same.
What every wrestling crowd should be.
Yes, it is what a wrestling crowd should be, but you're not going to get that every night, and that's always going to be the reaction after every WrestleMania. Is you're going to get that really rompous crowd that really into it. I mean, that's the birthplace of the yes chants. Now we have the birthplace of the Fandango'ing. So I truly think that you're not. This is like once a year kind of. These are these once a year kind of crowds.
Yeah, but I think that another thing of it is that people are excited for wrestling more right after WrestleMania because it is, like I said before, the new wrestling year. Yeah,
True.
I mean, it is, no matter how unexcited you are for the previous year, you know that WWE is probably going to bring you new shit, new feuds, new angles. WrestleMania is usually the end of all that. You have a little bit of spillover with Backlash or Revenge or whatever the fuck they're calling the next pay-per-view now. But ultimately, Payback. I think it's Payback. Is that the next one?
Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules is next.
Okay. I know they're making one called Payback, and I'm like, that's a stupid pay-per-view name. But I do miss Backlash a little bit. Just
I miss that, the hooks, the set with the hooks. I used to love that every year.
Yeah, they should hang Bo Dallas from one of those hooks.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, I know it is, but I mean,
at least that way he would be over.
That's fucked. Oh God. Hey, I answered why. Let me just put as a side note that me and Johnny and Chris Benoit from Ask we're going to try to meet Bo Dallas just to troll the entire internet, but we didn't want to wait 45 minutes in line. And yes, there was a 45-minute long line at Access to meet Bo Dallas.
Oh, geez. Whoa. There were people in line to meet Bo Dallas.
Yes.
Did you have to pay to meet him?
No.
Okay. Because that would be fucking pathetic. As much as I pretend to like Bo Dallas, I wouldn't pay 50 cents to meet him. I wouldn't wait more than 30 seconds to say, "Hey, what's up? I'm your only fan, but you fucking suck."
We did wait 10 minutes in an Alex Riley line, but it was only because Audrey Marie was next to it and we wanted to speak to her. So as soon as we spoke to her, we left the Alex Riley line without saying a word to him, and that was amusing.
Well, at least your priorities are in the right place.
I like the lady going, "Don't you want to meet Alex Riley?" And we're like, "No, not really, not at all." Honestly, I felt that was a highlight of the night. But anyway, guys, it's time to get on out of here. It's been a great show. Thank you very much for being a part of the first new show of the new wrestling year. Of course, H. Walker has to probably go clean his asshole. Glenn has to go plot the death of Wade Barrett.
Forgot to tell you, Rip. Big ups to that new intro. I think that was pretty cool. Kind of gonna miss. I'm gonna miss Jack Nicholson at the start.
Thank you, Big Show. Thank you, Big Show.
And we're out of here, and enough of that Fandango'ing. Like I said, it's going to be about MAing now, so fuck you guys. We're out. So do you guys think that anybody made it to the end of all that? Do you think anyone danced with the Emma theme?
Oh God, no, absolutely. No one ever.
Pushing it
No
hard,
one ever
Rich.
listens to
You're
the
pushing it hard.
If they didn't, then my work isn't done here.
Uh-oh. No.
I think we're finally actually out of here. If anyone is still listening, then you either really like Emma's music, you either have no life, or you died during the outro to the show and you had no choice but to continue to leave it running. So, thank you very much, and you all have a wonderful night. We'll see you next week on Sunday School.